even if it ends up being a tight game, they're still going to somehow win, because the truth is, I completely agree with his last statement. Madrid kind of just treated this game like a stroll in the park, man. Like, they didn't really show up. They didn't look like they wanted to match up physically against Bayern Munich, and they still got a 2-2 draw. For Bayern, I think the only way they were going to get a chance at going to the final was if they got a 2 or 3 goal lead at home in Germany. That didn't happen. I see no way Bayern Munich flipped this in Spain.
Yeah, man, I actually absolutely agree. We did our UEFA Champions League semifinal previews just a few days ago with the Dead Ball TV boys. So I don't know if Alex Herrera saw that, but in that video, we did nothing but praise Real Madrid. All 4 of us at the table selected Real Madrid to go through because they have that pedigree. They have that history. But to me, the biggest reason was the fact that they did end up defeating Manchester City, and that to them was their final. Overcoming Manchester City was a massive, massive statement, and I think the trophy is theirs to win and to show today, because I agree with what you just said, bro. It was a stroll in the park. They barely even showed up, man. They looked so low effort, so low energy, to the point where I was getting a little mad after those first 20, 30 minutes with how Bayern was pressing them. I was so surprised with them not showing that same tenacity that they had against Manchester City. But then that class showed itself with Toni Kroos doing what the Germans tried to do in 20 minutes. He did it in one pass, bro. Slicing apart that Bayern Munich defense, and Vinny Jr. just having a beautiful peach of a finish past Manuel Neuer.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating because a lot of what I have to say kind of sounds like I'm criticizing Madrid, because Jude Bellingham, dude, he did not show up whatsoever. And it was super frustrating watching Madrid play, because every time he got on the ball, he either got bodied, his link-up play was really sloppy today when he was trying to make passes to Vinicius or Rodrigo. But Vinicius and Rodrigo themselves were their usual winger pacey selves. But even then, like Valverde, he didn't get on the ball nowhere near as much as he did against Manchester City. Lucas Vazquez was a major downgrade compared to Dani Carvajal, and that'll be really interesting to see in the second leg when Carvajal returns. I think he's going to have a much better game against Jamal Musiala. Musiala did great today, and he really cooked Vazquez a couple times, even forcing that penalty in that one occasion. So Musiala did well, but Vazquez, compared to Carvajal, is a major downgrade, and that really showed. And also, Ancelotti's decision to go more defensive was really interesting, electing to play both Nacho and Tchouaméni at the same time. Usually he's only ever gone with one this entire year. I thought that was kind of weird, not starting Camavinga, especially since Camavinga was so good at moving the ball against Manchester City. I don't know, overall, a really weird game for Madrid, and they still got a draw on the road.
Vinny Brace on the road, and for Bayern, man, I really do feel like this was a missed opportunity, because there was that moment where Harry Kane scored the penalty after Jamal Musiala drew it to make it 2-1. Massive moment, in my opinion, in this two-legged tie, because the momentum felt like it had clearly shifted. Back-to-back goals within like a 5-10 minute span, with Leroy Sané scoring a banger of a goal, by the way. Shout out to him.
Shout out.
I told you while we were watching, I was like, Bayern has to get another one here. They have to get a third, and we talked about it with the Dead Ball TV boys. We mentioned that Bayern has to win by 2 goals at least to feel somewhat comfortable going into the Santiago Bernabeu. A tie, bro? A tie going to Real Madrid Stadium with the way they played at home, man? I don't see it happening, man. No. I really do. I agree with you. I think this is in the bag for Real Madrid, and they have a trip scheduled to Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, and Madrid, when they're at home this year, dude, they've been unstoppable, realistically. Like, I just think Bayern Munich, for as feisty as they were today, they're going to need a 10 out of 10 performance from every single player next week, and it's just not going to happen. Madrid looks so good. They've looked so good all year long, honestly, especially in the Champions League. As the comments are saying, you know, Madrid legit might win their 15th this year. It's looking like it.
Yeah, and let's read some of these comments to see what the people are thinking, how we're all looking. Enrique says, it seemed really hard for Rudiger to be able to be as much of a defensive presence with Kane being so fluid and unmarkable.
One thing I will say that Bayern did do a good job of is they put players right in between Rudiger and Nacho, right in between them, or right in between Rudiger and Lucas Vazquez. And that was really good, because with Manchester City, the entire play is behind the ball, but for Bayern, they tried to put some sort of pressure immediately on the back line of Madrid, and I thought that was really smart because we did see Madrid get opened up a couple times. I mean, Sane in the 3rd minute, dude. If Sane was just a little more clinical, he could be the best winger in the world, truly. But he just scuffs a lot of his shots. Now, we saw what Son is capable of. He scored a banger today, but we also saw what he's capable of in the other end, where he just scuffed some wide open shots, man. But there was
finished that, man.
Multiple opportunities where Kane did break the line of Madrid's defense. So that's the one thing I will give credit to Bayern in this game is they figured out how to properly break Rudiger, and that's really important. But the problem is, man, is Bayern Munich just either aren't clinical or, and I've been saying this all season long, they're too individualistic. Every time they do break the line, it's just pure dribble penetration. There really isn't a lot of link-up play. Now, the thing is, they have great dribble penetrators. Leroy Sané, Harry Kane, and Jamal Musiala. But there's no teamwork. Whereas you look at Madrid, the combination is always Luka Modric to Vinicius Jr., Valverde to Rodrigo, Bellingham with Valverde, or Bellingham with Rodrigo and Vinicius. There's so much more combination that happens when Madrid goes forward versus Bayern Munich, and I think that just makes Madrid a much more consistent team offensively.
That's how both their goals came today. Bayern with Sané driving through on the wing, and then Musiala drawing the penalty.
It's
just
pure.
Off of
It's
pure individualism.
It's pure individualism, and it obviously works because they're so good. But I mean, if I have to back it over 2 games, I'm gonna go with a better team, and that's Madrid.
Let's look at these super chats. We got a few super chats all the way up to the top. What do we have? We have Hus Jaber says, "No Madrid slander, boys, please." Hashtag a la Madrid. I mean, not much slander to give, honestly, today, because at the end of the day, I do think this is a really good, strong result. And he sent us another super chat. The counterattack was scary, even with Madrid defense, I would assume.
Yeah, again, like I said, Bayern Munich did try, but I just think they gave it their best shot, and it didn't result in a win.
Yeah, I appreciate those super chats, man. But you're right. Hey, no Madrid slander today. But the good thing is that we already have Madrid picked to win this matchup. If anything, it's Bayern that's going to be receiving the slander today. Edrin Nava says, "Just want to say hi. Hashtag parentheses. I'm a sad Barca fan." I mean, yeah, it must suck to see your rival participate in these games, knowing that you ultimately should have deserved to go through against PSG, but with the happenstance, with the way that football is, that red card from Araujo was just so killer. Now you have to sit back and watch your rival team potentially go to the final.
Yeah, it's really really tough if you're a Barca fan, man. I think even worse if you're Barca, man. Like the way they lost, we won't go back there. That's it.
Folks, no racism in the chat, please. None of that. I don't want to hear any of that. We're gonna ban you if you keep showing if you keep being racist in the chat. No racism whatsoever, my friends. Madrid has a good chance of getting the 15th title. I agree. Yeah. It's going to be hard for Bayern at the Bernabeu, says Football City Talk. I agree as well. Yep. Can you scroll up, please, producer? Let me see what else we got here. The rest were solid today, something you don't see often nowadays. I thought he was a little touchy. He was a little ticky-tacky today, but nothing controversial, that's for sure.
No, nothing. Really good calls.
Eldar says, Madrid put Vinicius and Bellingham upper than Rodrigo and Brahim. Shame. Interesting. Madrid is winning. You got something to say?
No, I will just say on Madrid, and again, it sounds like a critique. I guess it's more of a surprise, though, but I guess Madrid bunker on away games now. Like, I guess that's what Ancelotti has decided to do because Bayern had a lot of the ball, man. And there were spells, 20, 25 minutes throughout this game where Vinicius, Rodrigo, Bellingham barely touched the ball. Very similar to the away game that we saw in the quarterfinal against Manchester City. And as I said then, I've just never really seen Madrid commit to a defensive scheme, but it's working. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying I'm not used to it.
Bro, they weren't like this during their 4th Champions League title run. They weren't like this. It's interesting. They would take it to teams away from home, but that is what made that team special, I think. Like, even now, the team is full of so many class players. It's still something. You still got to rely on strategy and tactics to pull out the results. 17 says, you guys are mad haters on German teams. I don't think I need to watch this crap anymore.
And just to say that, yes, fuck Bayern Munich specifically. I want to make sure that's very, very clear. Low-key, though, I actually have a soft spot for Dortmund. I do. I like Borussia Dortmund. And Leverkusen this year has literally been unbeatable. I can't criticize that team.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know how you could support this Bayern team seeing how they play this entire year. But we're talking about a second-place team that has already lost the title after having control of it for 10 years straight. How could you support that, man? Be anti-Bayern for once in your life, bro. As for Dortmund, as for Bayer Leverkusen, we've shown a lot of positivity towards them. We're going to Germany. I'm going to Germany to profess my apologies to Dortmund because I got it wrong on them. But Bayer Leverkusen, one of the best teams in the world, man. I think we've shown our love for the Bundesliga and German teams. We're just going to be anti-Bayern because I don't think they're deserving of a Champions League spot given the way they play this entire season.
That's the thing, man, is especially in this game, it really showed me that Bayern Munich are not the best team in Germany. And it's so clear because I use the term feisty for their performance today, and that's all it was. It wasn't commanding. It wasn't definitive. It wasn't clear. But that's all Bayern Munich has been all season long, is just inconsistent, feisty at best. And yes, they have some incredible individual talent, but my biggest problem with this Bayern Munich team specifically is they just don't really have chemistry together. I mean, that first goal where Toni Kroos just spread the defense wide open. What the heck happened,
What
man?
happened?
What was Kim Min-jae and Eric Dyer realistically doing? How do you leave Vinicius Jr. that wide open? And it was just one simple pass, beautifully executed. Do not get me wrong, but that's been Bayern Munich all season long. Mistake-ridden.
Damn. No, it's
disappointing.
You nailed it, man. You nailed it. Eldar says, yeah, great point. Vinny and Bellingham barely touch the ball and they are not in form. Brahim and Modric are motors of all attacks, but Ancelotti does not play them. Look at Brahim. He smashes all. Let's go to the Super Chats. We had a couple Super Chats that I missed out on.
That's a good point, actually, though.
Please, we'll go back to that.
Yeah.
B. Vart says, Bayern is going through. Just watch. I mean, the thing is, it's still there.
It's 2-2.
It's 2-2.
It's 2-2.
It's 2-2. They could play an absolute miracle of a match at the Bernabeu, and they could completely surprise us, and they'll shut us up completely. And I'm not hoping that happens, but that could happen because that's how football is. Thing is, I'm putting all my money on Madrid.
Yeah, man.
Hus Jaber, our boy Hus, once again says, can Carvajal do better than Vasquez in the second leg?
Yeah, I already said, and I'll just, it bears repeating. Lucas Vasquez made a really big mistake today against Jamal Musiala, and not even in that moment, but he was getting cooked. Vasquez was getting worked,
he was
bro.
getting worked.
He was getting worked. I just think Carvajal's a lot smarter of a defender, and he's just as good of an attacker as Vasquez. You combine those two attributes together, then Carvajal's much better than Lucas Vasquez. So, yeah, I see Carvajal having a much better matchup against Musiala than Vasquez did today.
Bayern is more dangerous this season, says IMN Tricks. He says during turnovers and when dribbling through the wings. I'd say it's a good tactic from Ancelotti to let them have the ball and reduce turnovers so they're not on the counter as much.
Right. I get it. I'm just saying, it's just different.
Absolutely. Abbas says Real Madrid is winning, cooking every day. Real Madrid is the best team in the world. Okay, so we got a Real Madrid fanboy amongst us. Absolutely. To be honest, just Bayern hate. Wouldn't hate English or Spanish teams like that. It's getting obvious with your hate against Germans.
Interesting. Let's see. I shat on Madrid against Manchester City.
Yeah.
I just, I go game by game, and in this game, it's all Madrid for me. I just don't see Bayern winning. I'm sorry.
Mohamed Kula says Bayern is very boring to watch at times, especially this season. It's occurring more and more. I agree, bro. I agree.
Yeah, it's just spurts. That's what Bayern have made success in this season. Just little spurts, whether it's through Sane or Musiala, and it's fun to watch, but there's just no link-up play. And that was also my criticism of Kane has to do so much more in this Bayern team than he did with Tottenham because there's just no offensive chemistry with this Bayern team, man.
Nah, love to the red guy. He's mostly kind of Hey, appreciate that. Appreciate that. That ain't hating. It's just Germans at the moment, ain't it, man? Leverkusen is the only team to watch out for.
Yeah.
Hey, Rishi's onto it.
Yeah.
He's onto it.
Rishi gets it.
I want to know, who do you guys submit as the man of the match for today? I think this is an interesting question because, like we mentioned, Real Madrid didn't play their best game. They didn't. But Vinny got a brace. And as for Bayern, they got a tie out of this match. They go to the Bernabeu with a draw. Who was their best performer? Who is the man of the match today? Is it as obvious as Vinny, or is there someone else that deserves the title? Who do you think?
Honestly, obviously it's Vinny. Right, two really good finishes. One in open play. The other one was a perfect penalty. I mean, he just completely bamboozled Neuer, got him going the wrong way. I think the obvious one is Vinicius, but I really like Kroos's domination when he was on the ball.
Good.
He was really good.
Um,
A gorgeous assist. I think Kroos could be a good nomination.
I just feel like Musiala, Vinny was good on his finishing, but Musiala, I think ultimately kept Bayern in this tie. Drawing that second goal I thought was huge, and then he was dangerous every single time, like you already mentioned, cooking Vasquez.
Agreed.
I think I would also nominate Musiala because if he's not playing at that level today, I don't know if Bayern comes out with a tie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whereas Vinny, I think the goals were very well crafted, but it wasn't all due to him.
Yeah.
Regardless, Kroos controlled the first 30 minutes wonderfully, says Huss. Guys, have you seen Lamer? Lamer was good today.
He was actually defensively. Konrad Leimer was immense, and it was a big reason why Madrid did not get on the ball a lot, and why I was surprised Camavinga didn't start, because Lamer was so physical, and he honestly won most of his duels in the midfield. I thought he was fantastic defensively.
Yeah, Lamer was really good. Lamer kept Vinny quiet for like first 30 minutes though. Musiala is a good shout. Hard to get the ball off him without giving away a penalty. I agree with these comments. I agree with. Now let me ask the next question. What are your score predictions for the next match? Because you guys, we have some Bayern fans in here that say we're hating on them. Let me see it in the chat now. If you have Bayern getting an away result at the Bernabeu against a historic Madrid side, you let me know right now. Or if you have Madrid winning and going on to the final to potentially lift their 15th trophy in their history, let us know in the comments right now. I'm thinking about my prediction. Do you have yours? You got it, or you want me to go?
You go.
I'm going to go with I'm going to go 2-1 Madrid.
Yeah.
They'll concede one, but
Yeah.
I think they'll get the job done. Maybe an extra time, but they'll get the job done. 2-1.
Yeah, Bayern Munich always posed threat. I mean, Leroy Sané was fantastic today. So was Jamal Musiala. I could see that 2-1. I just think no matter what, Madrid just posed too much offensive threat at the Bernabeu. It's just going to be really tough for Bayern Munich, especially considering that Eric Dyer, Kim Min-jae, even Upamecano have all been very inconsistent defensively. I just trust Rudiger, Nacho, Tchouameni a lot more, especially since they're going to be in the Bernabeu. So, yeah, I'll go Madrid 2-1. Yeah, sure. I'll go with you on that one. Yeah.
Bivart says, I am not a Bayern fan, but it will be 1-1 PK's win. Is that the way for Bayern to win, or is there any truth, any hope that they could do it in regulation in 90 minutes and just get like a 3-1 result just with amazing moments from their offense?
I just haven't seen Bayern do it this year. I really haven't. And obviously, their performances against Arsenal were very, very good, but Madrid is not Arsenal. And I think you have to ask so much more if you're expecting Bayern Munich to outright beat Madrid on the road. I think that would take so much.
Yeah.
I could see a path for Bayern getting through if they tie it and go on penalties. Yeah.
Let's look up at the scores. Let me see what's the craziest score result we've got. I think I saw one guy say 7-0, 210-1. Jesus Christ. 2-1 to Madrid, says Elliot. Beats says 1-1 in penalties, but I don't know who he picks to win. V says Real Madrid going to win it all. Eric says 3-2 Madrid, 2-1 Madrid, 2-0 Madrid, 2-1 Madrid. Yeah, not many Bayern shouts. I'm looking for the comments that said that we were hating on Bayern. Where you guys at?
Where are they at?
Where are you at? Defend your team now. Rudy Moran said 2-1 Bayern. There we go. Captain Crutch, give it up, mate. Okay, hot take. Says Alex Herrera from earlier in the stream. If Madrid win against Bayern, we get the 15th. Madrid doesn't lose Champions League finals. Too much ice embedded in the team in history. And then the ice cold emoji.
I completely agree. And that's why out of these semifinal matchups, I have Madrid lifting the Champions League title because of what Alex Herrera just said. Madrid do not lose Champions League finals, man. And it takes a lot to do that. You have to go against legacy. You have to go against history. You have to go against that ice in their veins. That's just too many variables. And then you also have to go against Vinicius and Rodrigo. Yeah. It's too much.
Yeah. I just, God, yeah, I think sometimes I'm trying to look for the fucking angle here. I think if PSG defeats Dortmund, then there's maybe a shot of PSG potentially pulling off a crazy historic upset. But I'm just kind of focused on the narrative of Mbappe seeing this as a transition, passing of the torch type moment where he goes to the final and defeats the future team that he's going to play for in the final. I'm looking at the narrative. But logically, when you look at the history, obviously Real Madrid is the favorite to lift it. I just want to go PSG for the sake of the story, man, because that would be a truly glorious title if PSG is able to pull it off against a team, like you said, that doesn't lose in finals. But guys, who do you guys have winning the final? That's my last question for this stream. I know we're only recapping one game today. Who do you guys have winning the final? I think we have a lot of Madrid fans here today, so probably Madrid, but that's okay. I want to know who you guys have matching up in the final and who's winning it, because tomorrow we have Borussia Dortmund facing off against PSG. And just for an update, we both picked possessing me, man. They want me to say it.
You got the Dortmund bug, huh? I think I got it too, bro.
That's fucking weird.
I'm going Dortmund, baby.
What the fuck? That's weird. I can't say the words. We're going PSG. Jesus Christ. All right, let's read some of these comments. Real Madrid has that football heritage no matter what. Divine Omorigi sends us a super chat. Thank you, my friend. Carlo is to blame for Bellingham underperforming. He played much better when he came deeper into the midfield in the second half. He was high up to start.
That is the smartest comment I've read in a couple weeks, because congrats. I completely agree. Bellingham is best when he sneaks into the box, not when he's the focal point. I completely agree.
Yeah, what a take, man. Come join the pod, my friend. You're a welcome member now. What a comment. Hus Jaber, once again, my boy. He says, is Mbappe the new Kevin Durant? Leaves to win. If he loses the final. If he loses the final, then maybe there's a comparison there. When it comes to transcendental talent, I do think the comparison can be made.
You can.
But
he's already at PSG.
That's the thing.
He's already at a big...
Yeah, KD was at OKC, working his ass off, trying to make it work with Russell Westbrook. I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same type of jump, type of bandwagon-like jump, because I criticize KD for making that move. Faisal says, Mbappe is not KD. KD went to Golden State Warriors when they were peaking, and they beat him. Mbappe to Madrid has been cooking since Monaco.
Low-key, that's so true, yeah.
Yeah, I agree completely. Eric Santiago says, this might sound dumb, but I find it crazy that Madrid can play poorly sometimes, but still be in games. I agree.
Oh,
yeah. I agree.
No.
I don't think any other team in the world can play that poorly and get a result.
And they do it year in, year out in the most competitive competition in the world. That's Madrid. Like, trust me, man. I've tried. I've had sleepless nights wondering how Madrid get to the semifinals every year. I don't get it, but I mean, yeah, they're a class team. They really are.
Can we scroll up? I want to see what people predicted for the final, because I asked that question. We have people are saying Madrid, PSG, Bayern versus Dortmund. Right there's good producer, Rudd. PSG versus Bayern. Harry Kane wins a trophy. I mean, the story would be amazing. Real Madrid versus PSG. Real Madrid win. Bayern, PSG. Bayern wins. It has to be Bayern, right? It has to be. If not them, Bayern, I guess. That's basically your way of thinking as well.
Yeah.
I like this. I like what we're seeing. PSG, Madrid final all the way. Real Madrid, a la Madrid. I can see that happening as well, and I do think that's the most likely outcome. Harry Kane hat-trick incoming. I mean, that's literally what Bayern fans are dreaming of.
That'd be amazing if that did happen, though.
Yeah. Eldar says, do you think after
a season Vinicius will go out if Madrid have to...
basically, is anyone going to leave if Mbappe arrives? I think it would be Rodrigo.
I think it would be Rodrigo.
I wonder if that actually does happen. That'll be an interesting narrative to watch. Like, does Real Madrid offload one of their stars, one of their superstars, to bring in the fucking comet that is Kylian Mbappe, or do they just find a way to make them all?
I hope they offload one of their stars, because I don't want to be in a world where Rodrigo's just on the bench.
Nah,
I don't.
Not anymore.
I need him to be the starting winger/forward of whatever club he's at. And even if Mbappe comes, I need Rodrigo to go to a club and become a star.
Yeah.
So if Mbappe does come, I hope they offload somebody. I really do.
Luis Melo, $5 says, been having internet issues. Finally got it to work to see the live stream, but love the pod as always. And I'll see y'all Saturday.
Yes, sir.
In San Jose. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The Give and Go boys will be pulling up to San Jose this weekend to watch the San Jose Earthquakes versus LAFC matchup. My boy Luis Melo, man, we better finally meet you in person, man, because you have been a active member of this chat for years now. We really do appreciate it, my friend, for real.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun to meet you, man.
Daniel Lizarraga says, if Bayern Munich wants to win Real Madrid, their defense has to play the 90 minutes good, but I have faith in my team. I assume he's a Madrid fan, so look at that. Boss Jaber says, booking my flights right now. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Anything else? Anything else you want to propose to the chat, man? Because we got an active chat, and I would love to play a game or figure out something that we can do to entertain these folks. I'm thinking of a game here.
I don't know. I
Live
mean,
stream game.
I think Madrid's the better team against Bayern. Bayern looked good in moments today, but I think they played their best. Like, it's not, it is crazy that Manchester City Madrid happened in the quarterfinal stage, because what a tactical battle that was. What crazy goals we saw in that beautiful matchup. We saw a really offensive Madrid in the first leg, and then we saw one of the most beautiful defensive performances I've ever seen from them. City getting crazily close. The game goes to penalties, man.
Yeah.
Bayern Madrid has a lot to live up to, and I think that's just tough in general.
It's tough. I think that's why I feel a little numb to what happened today.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's normal.
Final matchups. Update on the apology letter for Dortmund. That is coming. I'm sorry, but I will record a whole video of me reading that apology letter, 5 pages in English and then also in German. That is coming very, very soon. I think I saw a great idea here. Let's do it for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, guys. Send me your hot takes. Send me your hottest takes. I don't care how fucking hot it is regarding anything in world football, and we'll read them and we'll decide if it's a fair take or if it's a terrible take. Hot takes for 5 minutes. Let's see what you guys can give us. This fool on the right, glazing Madrid, hard as fuck, like they somehow chose to have a mediocre performance. This Isaac Rico. On the right would be, I think it's you.
Yeah. I wonder exactly what he's talking about, to be completely honest.
I don't know, man. This is one of the most interesting chats we've had so far.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
A lot of people ignoring truth here.
Yeah.
Hot take: Argentina versus USA, Copa America final, and USA wins it on penalties. Scale 1 to 10. How hot is that?
It's really hot, but the thing is, I'm going to hold on to whatever that take is.
Okay.
I'm going to hold on as long as I can, because I love that take.
I think that's a pretty crazy take, man. I'm going to say that's pretty crazy. I'm going to give that like an 8 out of 10 in terms of craziness.
It's crazy.
I think it's crazy. Rodrigo, go up for me, please. Rodrigo Idarraga says Colombia will get to the Copa America final and go to the semis in the World Cup.
World Cup's interesting, but I
Yeah.
could definitely see a finals
America
appearance for Copa America.
Copa America for sure. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
The semis in the World Cup, man. I think that's hot.
That's a hot
I think
one.
that's
Yeah,
hot.
yeah, yeah. That's the
But
hot
if they
portion.
make it to the Copa America final, then going to the semis ain't that crazy.
It ain't that crazy, but there's also 2 years in between, and
There's
there's a lot of teams that can
There's 2
really
full
get
years.
a lot better.
And my boy Jack from Deadball TV made a great point. Who is Colombia's second best player behind Luis Diaz? The drop is pretty drastic. To get to UEFA Champions League, to get to a World Cup semifinal, you're going to need a lot more help than that, in my opinion. Hot take: Bayern wins this UEFA Champions League this season, and that's the only trophy Harry Kane will get in his whole career. Oh, God. I mean, I just disagree, because I think next year he'll finally get one with Bayern no matter what. I think the fact that, or the potential that Bayern might go without a trophy this season is pretty crazy already. I don't think it happens again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm down
He's
for
staying
that.
another year.
He's not leaving. I mean, Bayern Munich, at the end of the day, have world-class players in every position. They're still one of the better teams in the Bundesliga. So, yeah, I think it'd be tough for Kane to not win another trophy. It would be crazy if he didn't, though.
Yeah. Hot take: Santi Jimenez. Go up for me, producer Rod. Jagman Jr. says, hot take: Santi Jimenez, spelled Jimenez really interesting. Fucking with me seeing it like that. with the J
With
instead
the
of a
J,
G.
yeah. Raul Jimenez.
Is not ready for a Premier League team and would be better suited in Serie A or La Liga. I think that's completely fair.
I think that's completely
lukewarm
fair.
take.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
a good take.
It's a good take.
It's just not hot.
Yeah. Hot take says Dot Pioneer. Jordan makes a deep World Cup run, possibly to the quarterfinals.
Big Jordan fan here, and I love this take. It's a hot one. Quarterfinals is insane.
I think it's steaming. I think this is steaming.
It's
bro.
an insane run if Jordan are able to pull that off. Here's the thing, man. I mean, they got some fun players, and I hope that they can ball. First off, they have to get to the World Cup.
That's the thing.
And I
That's
hope
why
that they
it's
can.
hot.
I hope that they can. And if they do get there, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. Quarterfinals is insane. I'd love to see it.
Take care of Tajikistan in the World Cup qualifiers right now. Take care of that, and then I'll consider the take. But even then, quarterfinals, man.
That's so deep.
Man.
That's so deep.
That's
yeah.
so deep. They got to make it out of their group.
Yeah.
I think that's a hot take. And I'm not ultimately going to say it won't happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that now. Hot take: Jefferson Sotelo becomes a much bigger player than any other CONCACAF player and becomes the first Venezuelan to win the UEFA Champions League.
I just think Soteldo has already reached the ceiling. I think this could have been a really cool take maybe 2-3 years ago. Soteldo's a great player, But yeah, I think he's already peaked. For him to continue to get better, I just think, yeah, it makes it a hot take.
Yeah. Okay.
It makes it a really, really hot take.
Mateo Pegasus, $2 super chat. Thank you, my boy. He says if Delic was playing, it would have been 2-0. I definitely think he would have played much better than Kim Min-jae today. I definitely do agree with that.
Oh, that's without saying, man.
Without a doubt, he would play much better.
Yeah.
I just don't know if shutting out Real Madrid is a possibility this season.
Right.
I don't know because we have not seen that yet. And I think Vinny Jr. still gets his one way or another. So maybe 2-1. Maybe I would give you 2-1, but 2-0, that's a pretty hot take.
That's really hot, especially considering that Bayern Munich have been leaking goals all season long. And as you just said, Madrid's offense is too good. Yeah, 2-1, 2-0's crazy.
Yeah. Guys, I'm loving these hot takes. Good Lord, the chat is active. Let's try to get through these. All right, we have Huz Japers says, hot take, Ibrahim Diaz will be coming back to Spain and they realize how much they missed out on a player of that caliber.
So, like, he'll play against Spain or something like that?
Let's say that. Let's say that. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Morocco,
If
Spain.
Morocco plays Spain and Brahim Diaz, like, pops off, I'd love that.
Yes.
I would love that.
They fucked up, man.
No,
They should have figured out a way to include him in the team. They should have figured out because he's been balling out for Real Madrid, and Morocco now has a gift of a player up front.
Yeah.
Hot take, KDB would be a world-class CB/defensive midfielder when he gets older. Oh, that's interesting. KDB as a center back, first and foremost.
That's so hot.
I think that's so hot.
That's so hot, bro. Defensive mid, though, yeah, because he could just sit deep. He wouldn't be a very defensive mid, but he could easily sit deep, and spread balls like crazy, man. I could
but
definitely
the
see
center
that.
back shout is nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Hot take, Cruz Azul beats America in the Liga MX final this year. Cruz Azul winning any sort of silverware is always a hot take, so I'm going to say that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, my friend.
Especially considering how good America
And America,
are.
bro. America this year. I'm a Chivas fan. This is the most respect I've given to America team in my whole lifetime because I do think this is one of the best phases they've ever been in. So that's hot as fuck, my friend. That's hot. Hot take. Thoughts on Tuchel? That's not a hot take. Hot take. Iraq beats Morocco in the Arab Cup. You watching any Arab Cup?
My only problem with the Arab Cup is it's usually like an A/B team. So I think you could have any take and it could be hot or cold, honestly.
Fair
so
enough.
it's like, it's a cool take. I like it, but.
Okay, Sid Learling says, hot take, Borussia Dortmund wins Champions League and buys Van Dijk next season from Liverpool, and we might see a Van Dijk-Hummels duo at Dortmund. That's pretty fair. I've actually been seeing rumors
Van Dijk's gonna leave?
I've seen rumors that he's interested, or not that he's interested, but that Liverpool might be shopping him. The age might be there for him to finally make that move, that transition. And with Klopp leaving, it would make sense. And I think Dortmund is the level of club, the level of caliber that would happily welcome a guy like Van Dijk, just like how they did with Mats Hummels, and just extend his career and still continue playing high level of football. I could see it happening, actually, man.
Yeah.
If anything, he might have just cemented what's going to happen.
Dang, that'd be crazy,
I think it'd be crazy
for Van Dijk to go to Dortmund, and it would be a brilliant signing for Dortmund because I mean their weakness really is their defense.
Schlotterbeck.
Their offense is so fun to watch, but if you could have Hummels or Schlotterbeck paired up alongside the world class ability of Van Dijk, all of a sudden Dortmund's defensive woes go away.
Yeah.
So to do that, that'd be awesome to see.
Be cool.
That'd be cool.
The perfect move.
Yeah.
But also Liverpool doesn't have to get rid of him.
No,
I think he's still got 2-3 years at a high level that we can use him for. So, hot take: Mbappe suits Barcelona more than he suits Real Madrid. In terms of necessity, I see Barca needing a guy like Mbappe more than Real Madrid does.
I just think that Barcelona plays such a specific type of football, and it's off-brand of Mbappe that it would be such a disaster if Mbappe went to Barcelona. So to say that Barcelona need him, I think it's a hot take. I really do. I really do.
I would disagree on that one, but fair enough.
No, because
I just think that he would find a way in any team, obviously.
No,
obviously. But you're talking more stylistically. The brand of football they play.
Exactly.
I think Mbappe could find a way to maximize himself in that role.
Oh, absolutely, but he would never reach the heights he would reach if he goes to Madrid, if he goes to Barcelona. This is what happened to Felipe Coutinho. This is what happened to Antoine Griezmann. They had the class, they had the ability to go to Barcelona, but Coutinho and Griezmann were so individualistic at Liverpool and Atletico respectively that they had to go to a whole system of Barcelona. They couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, that's just missed.
Mbappe would figure it out, but nowhere near as much if he went to the system of Madrid that hones in on stars, right?
Yeah.
Barcelona really don't do that. It's team first at Barcelona.
It is, and it has been that, but I feel like that has changed a little bit more since Xavi came in. And I think Mbappe is the type of guy who does become the system. I think you shape the game around him. That's the level of caliber he's at.
Pedri, Gavi, Frankie, they reek Barcelona. It. They're 100% Barcelona type players. I don't think Mbappe really reeks that. Like, even at Monaco, it was get the ball to Mbappe, man. Like, it's Mbappe ball. Barcelona wouldn't make that shift.
That's midfield, though. I feel like offensively, they have no identity. Someone has to represent it. I think Mbappe would then be the front runner for that, the poster boy for this new wave.
I'm not
of
saying
Barcelona
he can't.
offense.
I'm not saying he wouldn't be able to do it. He's one of the best players in the
that,
world. But it just would be such a stylistic difference that it ultimately would not be the best fit.
It's a take then.
It's a take. I think it's a hell of a take to say that Barcelona would be better off with Mbappe instead of Madrid.
Ajaj Dev says, hot take, Rodrigo should go to PSG to win a Ballon d'Or. He is none less than Vinny Jr. Oh, God, the comment went away. Vinny Jr. and PSG need left wingers when Mbappe leaves. It's a win-win situation. Rodrigo at PSG for a swap for Mbappe would be really dope to see.
That'd be awesome.
Rodrigo as a Ballon d'Or winner, I don't think that'll ever happen.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll ever happen. I think he's a tier below that, which is still incredibly elite. Don't get me wrong, but it's only 4 or 5 guys that even have that shot at getting a Ballon d'Or every year. I don't think Rodrigo gets there.
He's an absolute baller, though, for sure. But yeah, I agree with you.
Last hot take that we're going to read. Let me look for a good one here. Scroll up from the video. Let's see. Okay. Let's look for a good one. You seeing one that triggers you?
No, there was one funny one that said, my friend said Afghanistan would beat Iraq. That's a crazy thing to say.
That's pretty nuts.
That's a crazy thing to say.
Hot take 1. Ala Madrid CF says Venezuela reached the semis of the Copa America. All right, I'm already getting
That's
triggered.
hot. That's
I'm
hot.
already getting triggered.
That's hot.
2. Morata has a better player. Morata has been a better player across his entire career than Giroud. So the Venezuela one is crazy. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's not happening. Not in this world. Not in any parallel dimension that exists outside of here. That is not happening, my friend. I'm sorry. And you can go back to this. You can clip me if you want. If it does happen, it is not happening, my friend. So let's get that out of the way. Number 2. Morata, a better player across his entire career than Giroud. A better player? I disagree. Player? No.
Yeah. Yeah, player's tough to say. You could say maybe career moments. Morata has had like bigger moments, but even Giroud's like he's won the World Cup.
Yep.
Like, honestly, they're pretty similar players.
They are. It's a close one.
So to say that Morata is just a better player is really interesting. I mean, Morata's a little bit more dynamic, so maybe it looks like he's a better player, but Giroud's IQ has always been so high. He's succeeded at every single club and national team that he's played for. So it's just like to say that Giroud's lesser than Morata is a crazy thing to say. I get it, though, because Morata has an insane resume, right? Madrid, Atletico, and Juventus, and he has succeeded at all 3 of those clubs. But, again, Giroud has been very good at every club he's played for, and he's won a World Cup.
Yeah, I love the way that Giroud plays, man, especially in his peak. He scored some crazy goals. I'll never forget that scorpion kick goal when he was at Arsenal, man. Some beautiful, beautiful moments. Morata I guess, lacks that aura, man.
Yeah.
He's good.
I
just think Giroud has a little bit of that offensive flair to him, man, that just, I think, separates him between him and Morata. Morata has had great moments. I remember his Real Madrid days when he had like 20 goals in a season and was part of a Champions League winning team, I believe.
Yeah.
He was incredible. But
and he was really good at Juventus.
Comparison, I'm taking Giroud every day, man. Every single day. Guys, thank you so much for another great stream. Make sure to like and subscribe on your way out. But we will be back tomorrow with our reaction to Borussia Dortmund versus PSG. And then obviously next week for Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. And then Borussia Dortmund PSG once again. It'll be crazy to see how these games play out. But once again, thank you guys so much for joining us. And we'll see you soon. Peace.
And you have to say Real Madrid very much the favourites going into that second leg at the Santiago Bernabeu as we welcome in Luis Garcia is with us, as is Jan Fjortov. We'll be hearing from the boys in a moment. But Craig, another great Champions League game.
Yeah,
We've been spoiled, haven't we, of late?
No, and as I said yesterday, with City going out, who are such a dominant team in terms of possession, that it would be more even in terms of a football game. And even within this game, I was still surprised, and maybe I shouldn't be, that how Real Madrid go into the shell at times, and I know they're very good at it, but you think, sometimes I'm just thinking, come on, you know, if you'd really get on the front foot at this defence, there's maybe more for you to get out of this game, because we saw as the game progressed where the weak points really are in this Bayern side, and ultimately that's what might cost them. But they do sort of regress a little bit, Real Madrid, at times into this shape, and it's a very good shape. But it was an excellent game again. You know, for those people that are harping on about away goals, been abandoning all that, and you know, seem to have nothing else better to do with their life. It's been okay this year, been more than okay, some of these games. And you know, Bayern will rule a couple of things. The chances early on, clearly, with the fill for Leroy Sané, the defending. He did make some tactical changes at the half-time, switching wide players and bringing Guerrero on, and you know, making a few tweaks in the middle. That helped him. But I think both managers will be relatively happy with what they've got, setting it up for a great game at the Bernabeu.
It's funny, isn't it? Because the way that Bayern started, oh, wow, you know, they really going for it. They were by far the better side. And then it's just that one moment, isn't it? That Toni Kroos pass into Vinicius Jr., who gets obviously past Kim. And that just that changed the whole first half.
It did. But you also are sitting back saying, well, that's Real Madrid right there.
Yeah, exactly.
They're absorbing a whole lot of pressure. Yes, it feels like they're out of sorts. It feels like they're vulnerable. It feels like this is the time for Bayern Munich to take advantage. Hoping that the center back is going to come and try to jump the passing lane. And once Kim Min-jae takes a step forward, now Vini Jr. is spinning out and he's gone. And Kim Min-jae coming out that far with no pressure on the passer, in this case Toni Kroos, it opened up a whole gap for Toni Kroos to say, yep, here you go, Vini. Beautiful pace on the ball. It is really, really poor defending from Kim Min-jae. And the mistake is not only trying to step to a ball that you're never going to get to, but it's also not reading the fact that there's no pressure on Toni Kroos. If there's no pressure on the passer of the ball, you can't go step out there because now there's nobody to cover you in behind, and you've now opened up a passing lane. Beautifully taken from Vini Jr., beautifully taken from Toni Kroos. And as you said, it changed the dynamic of the game. And again, Thomas Tuchel, first 15, 20 minutes, you're seeing him, and he's like, he's in the silent, he's animated. Why is he animated? Because I think he felt like this was a race horse and the closing stretch. That sometimes Bayern Munich needs a little bit of a whip by the jockey, and that's what he was like. Come on, boys, here we go. We got them in front of us. They're exposed. They're vulnerable. They didn't take advantage of that, and they allowed Real Madrid to take advantage of what was a first half that should have gone in Bayern Munich's direction.
So then you kind of wondered, well, what sort of Bayern Munich would we see in the second half? Lewis, as Craig said, of course, tactical changes by Thomas Tuchel, but it was individual brilliance, wasn't it, that saw them get back into this game?
Yeah, exactly. I think that the changes help on that, because it's true that Sané in the first half, he was facing maybe the first or second chance, but then he disappeared a little bit. They were not receiving the ball. Musiala exactly the same. And the change, swapping to the wide areas, the Musiala to the left and Sané to the right, I think they help them a lot, because they go in favor of the proper foot, to the good foot. He's trying to making diagonals and facing the players on 1v1 situation. And because the two centre-backs are holding Harry Kane in the middle, he's holding them, they cannot help to the players on the wide areas. It's a lot better to Bayern Munich. Of course, in the end, it's the talent and the quality of the players and the mistakes of the defenders who kind of lean this time on one or the other. But I think that the two teams put a fantastic effort, and for me, Bayern should have done a little bit better. They have the chances, they have the opportunity, and if you leave an animal like Real Madrid alive for the second leg, I think that you're going to be in trouble. But yeah, top game from both sides.
Bayern have had a poor season, obviously. Sané part of that, Jan. His first goal in 6 months. That's silly.
Yeah, it's unbelievable when you see his Bundesliga form, but in the Champions League he's been good. And on a night where Arjen Robben was in the stadium, he also used to say about Toni Kroos, this is a player who can only play sideways. So that was an answer to him as well. But I will say, when we sum up this game, I think you are a bit too pessimistic on behalf of Bayern. Bayern is a good counter team.
We'll get to that in a moment, Jan.
Oh, sorry,
you take me to Cruz, Oli Honas.
Yeah, but it's belonged to it. I can say a lot about Leroy Sané playing through his injuries. He's been injured. He hasn't been training lately. Still managed to get into the team. Still very much trusted by Thomas Tuchel. And in a time when Thomas Tuchel has said that he can't develop players, I think that he has managed in times to make Leroy Sané a better football player.
This is marvellous. Jan, that's why I love Jan. It's just, he's taken it. He was already, I think, blaming us for ruling Bayern Munich out in the second leg. And I don't, unless I've got a hearing problem. We haven't even talked about that yet, Jan. Nobody's mentioned Real Madrid and who's going to. But I tell you,
Craig, put yourself in a hotel in Salzburg and come after you boys. Then you will go the same strategy.
but I tell you, that's the difference. Have you watched? Let's go back to what the Achilles heel is. You know, Eric. The words I never thought I would say. Eric Dyer was the linchpin in the centre-half partnership.
Yep.
And I think we saw why Kim has been dropped this season, why De Ligt has been dropped this season at times, which wasn't available. Upamecano's been dropped and benched. And you looked at it and you went, player of the season in Italy, defensive player of the year. I don't know, maybe that says more about another league, or it doesn't.
Don't upset the Italian.
I don't know, but he's not having a good time. But two things with the goal. One, when you have players as quick as Real Madrid, and they don't have a natural front man, but they have two guys in a hybrid role a lot of the times, in Rodrigo and Vinicius, that's the danger. They don't have to worry about it from a central position, because Harry Kane's not going to be able to do that with Real Madrid. This is a big worry. And they got bummed, and he got bummed badly. And the first thing he did, he looked round, and what he wanted was Joshua Kimmich to be holding his hand. Right? Now, if you watch the play when he got sucked in, and he got sucked in back, he went for it big time. I mean, he bought the ticket as soon as he went short. He didn't just go a little bit and go, hold on, I'll balance this out. He went bang, straight in behind. And Kimmich was stuck, as Ali said, there was no pressure on the ball, so he was stuck between, I don't want to tuck in too much, because that's the easy out ball over to the wide position, and then I'm not going to be able to get out. So his position really was kind of natural, and that left a big gap. Gets his head up. The centre-half makes a bad decision. There's a gaping hole. There's only him and Modric really in this team that are going to absolutely slice that pass. And that's the problem for Bayern Munich. That's always going to be the problem for them. That if they step out to these players and leave that gap in behind, that's going to be a huge worry.
But it just wasn't Bayern who were vulnerable defensively. Real Madrid, of course, saw Sané do that, and then Lucas Vázquez with a lazy leg and gives away the penalty.
And so the vulnerabilities of Real Madrid were there. The high pressure of Bayern Munich were creating all sorts of issues for the first 15 or 20 minutes, and this is no exaggeration. For the first 15 or 20 minutes, Real Madrid could not complete 4 or 5 passes. They had difficulties just building out of the back. And sometimes we think about what are some of the big misses for Real Madrid? Who are they missing? And you're thinking, okay, well, they missed the goals of Karim Benzema. More so than the goals, in a game like today where you're being high pressed, Karim Benzema was usually the guy that would be an outlet, that you go and play the ball to him, and he now releases the pressure because he has that kind of quality. Well, they don't have that in the team right now. And so when you go and high press Real Madrid, and you do it in the manner in which Bayern Munich did for the first 15 and 20 minutes, and they're going for a long ball, there's nobody to play that long ball to. So either you get the ball over the top of everybody and try to have Vinicius get on the end of it, or you simply don't have a way out. You don't quite have a guy that can hold the ball up and say, okay, I'll be the outlet, I'll make the next decision so that then we can get out. The problem that Bayern Munich had is that they allow the game to settle down. Yeah. And in allowing the game to settle down, then Toni Kroos can take over. Then you can get the combination play. Then you can take the possession into the attacking half, and you start dictating, which is what usually Real Madrid does very well through Toni Kroos. If you allow the game to calm down, then Real Madrid becomes very dangerous because now they control the pace of the game. They speed it when they want to. They want to take advantage of Rodrigo and Vini Jr., or they slow it down and now start keeping the ball and have you chase around. That's what they did for the middle part of the game. That's why they were controlling.
Think about this. I'll get to it in a minute. Interestingly, Bellingham, he
didn't have a good game, did he?
No.
He said he had cramps after 60 minutes. He was, of course, taken off, and Modric coming on. But overall, for a man...
He had cramps after 60 minutes?
Yeah, he said cramps. That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
That's what Ancelotti said afterwards.
Start hydrating then.
It's quite strange that particularly a guy as fit, as young as him. But to go back to, just briefly go back to Bayern Munich, if they were to go through, and it's still, as Jan said, I'm being sarcastic, it is very much still possible. Of course it is, absolutely. But you think about this back line, and that's what worries me.
So take me through the penalty.
Well, you can't. Whenever you dangle your leg in a ball, you're talking about the Vasquez.
The Real Madrid penalty that was awarded to them.
He gets himself in a bad position again. He gets rolled, and then he dangles the leg. I mean, short of Thomas Tuchel in this physio room, chucking the physios out, going, get me a centre-half that's fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a problem, and I never thought that would be the case at the start of the season with this player. And I thought Eric Dyer coming in would be a massive headache for them, and actually, it's not. It's the others. It's the others around him that are more of the headache. But this, I think, could come back and bite them. But again, you got a right back who wants to play midfield and who's effectively, that's where he's played for years now. And Kimmich, you got a centre half and Dyer who is the best they've got at the moment. An out of form Kim, an out of form Upamecano, an injured Dilek, and then he doesn't want to play Davies at full back, and he's got Mazraoui over there. It's a bit of a shambles of a back four, and yet they're still in this tie.
How do we get to this, Jan? Because obviously at the start of the season, you look at Upamecano and you look at Kim coming in, you think, oh, this is a solid back line for which Bayern can build on. But Kim has never shown that sort of form that we saw in Italy last season.
I just think that is just one of the mystery of football. How is it possible to be a giant and be, sorry for the expression, useless as he was today? The problem with Tuchel is not that he's going to the physios and ask me, give me a centre half that is fit. Is his go to his management and give me a centre half that is good. Upamecano, every time he plays, he has some mistake somewhere. There's always a mistake, which is also a mystery because he's in around France. France will be one of the favourites to win the championship this summer, the Euros. De Ligt came as a boss. He should be the boss at the back. Hasn't succeeded. Yes, he's out now and maybe didn't play. The thing is with Dyer, and it's interesting what Craig is saying, I was, as a lot of people, were sceptical when he came to Bayern, but he's a very smart centre-half. So when he plays against quick people, I compare him a bit with Mats Hummels. He knows what he can do. He knows his weaknesses. He knows when to drop off, not to be taken 1-against-1. And Dyer is now one of the first one on the starting 11 for Tuchel. And I think that is the problem for Bayern going to Santiago Bernabeu, because you know that they will create more. You know that the Santiago Bernabeu will push them forward. And with that back four, I think Neuer had some good saves today, has to be said. Maybe, I don't know if you saw it, but maybe you should come earlier on the first goal. Maybe. But at least he is back in form.
Was it the semi-final last year, Real Madrid, Man City? I can't remember. Bayern Munich. Was it a year or two ago when Upamecano? I'm throwing these out here. When Upamecano
not last year.
Went to the Etihad and had that horrendous game. So we're seeing it again.
Yes,
I think the Upamecano was more of a shocker.
Yeah.
That you could argue, I suppose. But again, that's what's he going to do? And it's a week. He's only got a week. He's got a week to think about it.
Of course, that's going to be next Wednesday. Luis, there'll be so.
Today we have a very interesting Premier League roundup. With that, we have a great set of characters on the table today. I'm excited to introduce them. Next to me, I've got my co-host Elias.
Made some boss calls today. Got the 3-2 win.
You call it the higher ups?
Some boss calls, yeah.
The higher ups.
It might have been a Trossard penalty. Made some boss calls today.
Opposite us, we got Fuad Kadani. He was on the watch along earlier as well, and in FCM, and he was on Bleacher Report, and now he's back on SBS.
Poor guy. I had to speak about. I'm tired. I had to speak about a loss 4 times today.
Let's talk about the same game 4 times.
They're beating me up everywhere I go, man. Yeah, you're getting done.
Everywhere you go.
Here we go. Let's not start.
Listen, and we have a very special guest who's back. It's Matisse, everyone.
Hey.
Sir, yes, sir. Present. Ready.
We tried to get him for the 5-0, but he
Yeah.
We only get Chelsea fans when they lose.
Do not disturb phone. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I saw that happen, yeah. But I see him on Big Six streaming later. I see that happen.
Him and Sean won D&D that day.
Yeah, that's what happened. But listen, it's a Premier League roundup as always for today. If you want to listen to us on audio, check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. The description has all the links there. If you want to check us out on visuals, SDS is where you can go. Let's start with the first game, the biggest game of the weekend, North London derby. I mean, we already have. If you're
It's getting a bit hot.
Fair.
the audio guys,
No, if the
Elias
audio guys
just
want to know,
unzipped right now.
they want to know, they should come over to the YouTube if they want to see
what
what's
happened.
happening.
Yeah.
Someone might
I
straight.
just said you unzipped right now. They can mean anything right now.
Could mean absolutely anything.
Straight
Could
up
mean
they
anything
can.
right now.
But listen,
That is crazy, but it could mean anything.
the North London derby happened. We obviously did watch along for that game on playback and on YouTube. It was a great load of fun because we had the exact same table. Obviously, Matisse wasn't here. We had Star Play instead. The first half started, it was getting a bit rowdy a little bit. Fuad was obviously talking a lot. We were talking a lot. It was a proper North London derby atmosphere in the studio.
I think we should just rewind a little bit and talk about Ben Davis and Højbjerg. Just for you. Just for your sake.
Team
because
selection.
You did point it out on the watch along.
Because I said it right before kickoff. I was like, yo, those are the 2 weak links. And as they say, you're only as strong as your weakest links. Bro, it was almost like I don't even want to use them as scapegoats or anything, but you could clearly see the drop in quality between Destiny and what Ben Davis can offer you. Højbjerg in that midfield in 2024. Brother, what are we doing here? As our guide Lee as always says. I don't know. Because Basuma and Saar, there was no injuries, there was no suspension issues. Why in the biggest game of the season have you decided to put Højbjerg in, despite not playing him all year, knowing that he's not good enough to start, knowing that we've moved past this guy, but still you think he should play? And you saw it for both the own goal. I think every time he got on the ball, the way he was unable to almost progress the ball. Ben Davis getting caught out for the second goal. How long did it take him to realise Saka was the man they were trying to get to, basically?
Yeah.
But that high line once again getting caught out again. And as much as we can point to those guys and say like, okay, they're not of the standard or whatever, who picks them?
Big Ange. Good day,
Who
mate.
plays the high line?
Good day, mate.
Who decides the near post instructions on a set piece?
Maybe the set piece coach.
But guess what? Who hires the set piece coach?
Who signs off on it? Who signs off on it?
It all
Big Ange.
falls back to Ange for me, and these are things that we've been seeing all season, time and time again, in terms of with the high line, in terms of with that near post, Vicario becoming a target basically for any half decent attacking set piece side. And I'm sorry, if you're not doing your homework with a 15-day break against the best set piece team in the league, what are we doing here, bruv? Like there's so many things where I would love to point to the players, but I think there's things fundamentally that Ange got wrong today.
No.
And then you add on top of that, I actually thought even after we conceded the first own goal, we responded well. Hit the post, got the equaliser that got disallowed. We were dominating possession, caught you guys off the press a couple of times, but it was like, okay, now what's going to come?
Do you know what's crazy? I think any other day that game is played, it's a completely different result. I think you got either get a draw or you win. Like, we didn't come out of first gear. Like, we were still, like, sitting back, soaking up all the pressure. But when you lot conceded the first goal, you had your chances. You still kept the ball well. You weren't crossing the ball. We was moaning about that a lot. Even me and Stars was laughing at it. There was no crossing the ball.
The final
but
ball.
I understand not crossing the ball because there's Saliba. We've got 4 big men in there. And then you've got Son, who's not physical. You've got Timo Werner, who did come off not physical. Brennan Johnson, not physical. Kulusevski's the most physical in terms of stature. But you can't put a ball into the box when you've got those 4 men waiting. And Raya, the way he comes and collects the ball, it's one of the best in the league, how good he is come on in his box. Comparison to Vicario.
And in terms of Arsenal defensively, like this season, you lot have been much better. And there were moments in that game where you lot were putting almost like a little bit of a low block. And it was like, all right, come break us down. We didn't have that bit of quality in terms of whether it was Timo Werner, Brennan Johnson, even Maddison the way Partey and Rice shutting down today. It's like, safe, goodbye. If Maddison isn't creating, who else is creating in that team? And especially, as I said before the game, if you take Destiny out, who is Destiny and Porro, who've been covering basically for the wingers, you're basically fighting with one arm, bro.
You're always saying that Van der Ven left back, Dragsson centre back. If you sign Dragsson in the January transfer window for 30 odd million, why not start him in a game like this?
In a game like, I want to see if players can sink or swim in the deep end. And maybe you would have said, it's thrown him in the deep end. Cool. I want to see if you survive. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've seen Kobe Mainoo get thrown in at Liverpool. I remember even going back a few seasons, Tanganga getting thrown in the deep end. It was like, oh, okay, we might actually have a decent player. Obviously, it didn't turn out that way. But you always want to see players tested. And I just thought this was a perfect opportunity. Ben Davis, you know what you're going to get out of him. I knew Saka was going to have a field day. As soon as he cooked him for that second goal, Ben Davis didn't want to engage again.
But he needed
it was
more backup.
jockey.
He needed more backup from Timo.
100%. And the thing is with Højbjerg, I'm sorry, the game has just gone past him. The fact that he got subbed off after Bentancur was even more alarming for
But
me
what was
as well.
great, you could see that it's like night and day when Sarr came on in comparison to Højbjerg and Bentancur. Like it was a complete. When he came on, it was just proactive, keep the ball moving, chasing everything down, winning back the ball. It's like Højbjerg when he plays. It's like he reminds me of those players that just want the physical battle, nothing else.
Yeah.
They don't want to progress the ball. They don't want to. They don't want to win the game, but they don't want to make anything happen. But then you got Sarr on the.
They want to play it safe.
Yeah, they just want to play it safe. Sarr on the opposite side, he's got the physical side and he's got the attacking side, and he's got the mind and the presence to know, okay, I can get forward, I can play between the lines, all that kind of stuff.
He should be the one undroppable player, and in the complete opposite to that is Basuma, who came on as well, who was so lax when he came on as well. And I'm just like, bro, this ain't what we need. And I feel like too many players today weren't treating it like a North London derby. I thought Kulusevski, Porro, Romero, maybe Van der Ven, you could say those four actually came and put the fight down.
That's a good point. But if you look through your lineup, how many players do you have in that starting lineup who've gone through the North London derby?
Oh, even capable of that.
fresh, Van der Ven is fresh, Romero's been there, Ben Davis has been there, Pedro Porro's fresh to North London. Like the actual nitty-gritty North London derbies. Not many have been there to understand how big of a
Madison
game it is.
got banned in the match last time.
Yeah, Madders knows how big the game is. Do you know what I mean? Son knows how big the game is. But then
Richarlison as well, when he came on.
When he came on, he was an energy. He was a spark. He was a big spark.
causing
Like he's fighting with Gabriel, he's fighting with Rice. You need that, especially. We watched it on mute, but I remember watching it back when I was at home. You could hear the crowd getting amped up when these little things happen. Because imagine bringing on a player and all he's doing is just trying to fight. That's all you want. That's the least. That's the first thing you want from a player. The bare minimum.
But also, you got to get into the Arsenal players' heads because Arsenal are very calm in that game. Like they went to the Etihad in this unbeaten away run of no goals conceded. I think it was 6 games in a row. They've gone to the Etihad, low blocked it, and just sat there and said, "Listen, you break us down."
Yeah.
And against Tottenham, against Timo Werner, who's not a low block specialist, this guy as a winger, it's really quite the sad decline of what we used to watch as wingers in this Premier League. When we see Premier League years and the clips are going flowing, this guy can't dribble, this guy can't shoot, he ain't got no strength, he ain't got pass, he can't do nothing. He's just there to hold the whip and recycle possession and maybe a little cut back here and there.
He's a hard-working winger.
He's an industry player. He's an industry player.
But when you look at it, that midfield, that battle that you just spoke about, Rice, Partey, Odegaard versus whatever you guys were going to put together, even if you did go with like a Sarr and Basuma's well out of form, it's just so difficult because we know we just played you.
Yeah.
It's been a bad week for London.
Oh, yeah.
Rice and Partey, if that pivot is fully fit and at it, Partey last season plus with Rice now, you can't touch it because physically, press resistance, passing, transition, defending, like the little interception. There's nothing you could. What can you do? And then Odegaard's there as well, pinging. It's too much, man. It's too much. The quality,
I
the level.
I feel like in the first, in the reverse fixture, for example, that was the midfield three. It was Basuma, Sarr, Maddison, and I felt like Sarr and Basuma physically competed, and it was like, oh, you know what? Okay, if Partey's there, even so. The fact that Basuma's fallen off so far, for me, is an alarming concern, and whether we can even rely on him fitness-wise, even next season moving forward.
You've said it before, it's since that Luton game, that red card before
it just hasn't been the same, whether it's injuries, AFCON here, it's just one thing or another,
But the second half fight back was nearly there, it was nearly complete.
It was nearly there, but then you almost feel like it's too little too late. And the first goal went in, and that's what I mean by the lack of hunger from players almost. It still didn't feel like we wanted it. Like Son, unless he's being kind of spoon-fed, he can't really create nothing for himself. Maddison pretty much got locked up. Brennan Johnson, I felt like he was beating his man, but that bit of quality in the final ball was always just lacking. 3 or 4 yards off with the pass all the time, and you're just like, what is going on? And for me, it was unless Romero almost broke out from centre back and went on some free roaming press.
He was playing in the front too.
That was when something kind of ricocheted and happened. I was like,
and it was an amazing finish as well.
Great finish.
Like a proper striking finish. Even the Van
But he could
Ven
have had a hat trick. He hit the post and he missed another header.
And then you kind of get obviously a little bit lucky with the penalty afterwards as well. But then it's like it's a little bit too little, too late. We're just throwing these half-hearted crosses into the box. There was no real idea.
The game was gone by then for you.
But no, like he said before, like you have to get into Arsenal players' heads. But this season, I haven't seen us crumble like how we used to. And I feel like it's been instilled now to just stay calm. You can always every Arsenal game I go to, I've gone to majority home games this season. Anytime someone makes a misplaced pass, a team has a shot. It was the Chelsea game specifically. Nico Jackson had a couple of chances. The first 20 minutes, they had about 3 good half chances where they could have got a goal. Nico Jackson, a couple of cutbacks, and Arteta's just doing this calm down. And it's like when you hear that from your manager, it makes a big difference.
Do you remember even before the watch around, I was saying, I think emotionally, how you act
we've
this
grown
game
a
will
lot.
be-
I think from the last
For me,
season
I think
bottle.
that's the biggest thing. I feel like in terms of the goals and stuff, we gifted you that. But then it's how you react after that.
All
And I
5
felt
goals
like,
in the game were
yeah,
gifted. Literally, it was all mistakes.
Facts.
Yeah.
They were all mistakes.
Own
But then it's
goal, you know, Ben Davis letting Saka cut in.
Yeah.
Like, but
Penalty.
then again, I want to speak about the contentious decision. Do you guys think it was a penalty?
The Trossard one.
The Trossard one for the second goal.
Do you know what's crazy? Obviously, we watched it while I was watching live. While I was doing the watch on, it doesn't really feel like it. But when I rewatched it, I feel like those can be given.
the Kulusevski.
Yeah, where he just clipped him,
Yeah.
and I think Trossard
He should've
knows
gone
what
to
he's
the ground,
doing.
hit a
Because
fast
when you
one.
watch it, it looks like Trossard purposely runs behind him to just put him off, and I think it could have been given.
For me, I think that's a stone wall. But then I think because Kulusevski stutters the
Yeah,
going
he
down,
delays the
that
fall,
kind
yeah.
of delays it and makes it think, oh, no, you're looking for a penalty
Yeah.
now. Whereas
Yeah.
I think he should have just gone down straight away. We would've got it.
I think the fact that he was stuttering down actually makes it look more like a penalty because you can see him trying to stay up from the challenge, but then the referee's
I
like,
thought
no, let's keep it
VAR
going.
should have looked at it regardless. The fact that they just.
I think they did. I remember them showing bare replays. I can't remember.
You know how VAR is, but we never know what they look at.
Yeah, you never know.
Do you think you've purposefully got rid of you talk about the calmness and like
Yeah.
towards the back in the season, you're not jittery and nervous. And
Yeah.
do you think he's purposefully got rid of Zinchenko maybe from the starting 11 at
that's a
times and Ramsdale as well,
Yeah.
who are more animated, loud?
If I tell you
Emotional.
if I tell you how
Emotional,
it
yeah.
was at the Emirates this season, even last season when Ever Zinchenko lost the ball, it's like he's at boiling point with the Arsenal fans. It's like anytime he lost the ball, the whole stadium just goes sides because they know it's coming with Zinchenko. Same with Ramsdale last year. Whenever he would have that little dumb mistake and like what Raya did today,
Yeah.
that's a big mistake. You know?
Yeah,
Massive.
But because it's Raya, everyone's just like it's fine. But
Yeah.
if Ramsdale made that mistake, the way it would have been magnified and like over
I
exaggerated.
think it would have been more magnified if it ended in a draw.
What Raya's mistake?
Yeah.
No, because his mistake against Bayern when he stepped out, no one really speaks about it because that was a big mistake as
Oh,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Stepped out and made a unnecessary
At the Emirates.
situation. Yeah,
Yeah,
At the-
yeah.
It was an unnecessary situation for him to do that.
Yeah.
But because of how solid Raya has been this season,
Yeah.
he's got a lot of cash in the bank.
Basically got Golden Glove at this point.
Yeah, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of like checks
Credit.
to cash in, a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
credit, all that kind of stuff. Where if he does make a small mistake, he'll get away with it. But like you were saying with Zinchenko and Ramsdale, I think him taking them out and putting in 2-3 extra guys like Tomiyasu and Kiwior or Raya, who are just like you can see whenever they lose a ball, it doesn't faze them.
Yeah.
They don't lose composure, they don't lose concentration, nothing like that. So I feel like that's a big thing he's done. But also last season's bottle at the end of the season, I think is a big factor in how we are now in terms of the way we defend, the way we attack, the way we stay calm in situations where today we could have easily drawn 3-3. Last season I think we would have drawn 3-3.
Last season would definitely draw.
Even the way he brought on, what was it, the extra
Kiwior
defender
for
at the end,
Odegaard.
yeah, where he's
Put
just
five
like,
at the back.
yeah.
Put five at the back.
Yeah.
And it's literally, and it's all big, strong men in the pit.
Yeah.
Remember, it went the back five is all over 6
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah.
Then
That's
you've got
something
the
that
two
two in
midfielders.
front.
Yeah.
Saka was the smallest player on the pitch. Saka Martinelli.
Even
I
Havertz
think-
as well scored a header. That's
6'4",
another one.
giant.
And that's one thing this season I think everybody's given Arsenal credit for
Yeah.
is defensively and how physically they've dominated teams. It's almost like going back to what you used to be, if that makes sense. And I feel like for so long you guys have been accused of being soft-bellied when in actual fact, obviously, we are the ones that actually look soft-bellied. And I think you saw that in a lot of the players. And I'm even thinking like over the past few years, remember when Jose came in? He was like, yo, you lot really need to be you lot really need to be nasty. I feel like Spurs still haven't figured it out. And so many of that comes down to the player profiles that you do have. The profiles that we have, I don't feel like we have enough of those dogs, if you like. And you lot now seem to be having an abundance of them. And bro, games like this, you feel the difference. Games like your one, midweek,
Bro,
you
literally,
feel
we
the
used to be
difference.
those guys.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
intangible.
when a
Yeah,
team
exactly.
can physically impose themselves on you, bro, it's another thing.
Even like back to the Chelsea game last week, just Saliba pushing Enzo into the box.
Yeah.
That's like he just literally
He just,
moved him in
he
there.
just literally
Marshall
carried him in there.
Marshall
Marshalled him in
Enzo's
there.
just
Yeah,
there like,
yeah.
what can I do? Like that's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Like
you know what I mean?
so-
Anyone fights
security
back.
guard.
Anyone fights back.
You know, Enzo's trying to get into the club. He's just like, no, this
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
This
Like,
way.
nah, mate, you've drank too much
Yeah.
tonight. Let's
You
get you
drank
out of here. Do you know what I mean? No ID, no entry. Let's go.
Let's look at a few key players of that game, and I want to start with you. Kai Havertz in the North London derby. Massively appreciate you once again, mate.
I had to give him. What did I give him? What did I give him? I had to give him his dub. His W for the week.
I like seeing
because
on Twitter when you're like watching on
yeah,
streams, shut up,
always
man.
getting clips.
And Kai Havertz scores.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know the story to this? Right, when he first came to Chelsea, obviously we saw the Bayer Leverkusen clips, and they were more relevant than obviously now. The guy was balling out, sourcing out, playing passes, scoring goals. We're like, wow, we're getting a giant, like a big name here. This guy's gonna explode. And Real Madrid are interested in whatnot. So I'm backing him to the hills. I'm like, yes, let's go. First season, obviously, champs, scores the win. I'm like, all right, wasn't the easiest first season. Let me take my time with this.
Oh, that was his first season?
Yeah, give him the second
We won the
season.
FN Champions League.
Second season, third season, and he's just not kicking on. I'm like, this guy's fragile. This guy's too. You know, Havertz. He kind of moves like Ozil, but he doesn't have the pass. So like, he can be frustrating because he's very like nonchalant, and you're trying to like intensity. Like, let's get this.
He looks
moving.
lazy when he watches
Yeah,
him,
like let's move on. And the finishing is very like loopy and scoopity, and there's no like venom and velocity. Like, he doesn't know what he's gonna do. Shoot like an adult. Like, why are you? You know what I mean? So he's very annoyed. His heading ability is very wishy-washy for someone so tall. So I'm like, I'm starting to dislike you. And then he goes to Arsenal. I'm like, oh, I really dislike you now. So I'm like, cool. He goes to Arsenal. Brother's actually helping. Actually helping now.
You can ask anyone. SCS, I was his biggest hater.
Huh?
No, you weren't.
I hated that signing. I was fuming at that signing. I saw Real Madrid linked to him. I was laughing at FaZe. You're getting Havertz. It flips to Arsenal, get him. I'm like, oh my God, what
This
was
week,
Arteta done here?
It's this week, bro. Like, Arsenal have had 2 games against rivals where the intangibles and the pressure and the meaning of these games, even for the ops, like we're coming in like, yo, we need to do something about this. And Havertz has stepped up in both games, 3 goals and assists, and actually playing your part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, fine, fair. Like, I have to be quiet. You've shut me up. But yeah, it's tough
Even
to
his
take.
tweet today was quality.
Bro, the tweet
And
was
he
nasty.
celebrated against you guys as well.
Do you know what? Yeah, one thing I'll never give it and not take it. Never.
Yeah.
Pause. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No, fast forward.
like if I'm gonna shit on you, you gotta shit on me. You know what I mean? No problem.
It's another pause as well. He went out to Dubai for that one.
Like, yo, where's he going with this?
He was with the sheikhs with that one. He was outside. Yeah.
On the chest.
Can I get my G-Wagon now?
How much you paying for that, man? Another key player I want to ask you about is Declan Rice, man. How was he for you today?
Declan Rice, I seen something the other day of him, people saying this running that we've had the last month or so, he's been very underwhelming for his price tag. Obviously, when you're 100 mil, everything gets magnified. You know with Enzo as well. Literally every game. Doesn't matter who
Any play they signed in summer was all
literally,
magnified.
doesn't matter who you play.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter what performance you put in. It's getting magnified.
Yep.
Oh, he misplaced that.
Bellingham
pass, he did this.
comparison.
Yeah, always. Look how much they got him for. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's always that. But he's obviously moved out of position.
Yeah.
They say he's a 6. He's been moved out of position because Jorginho and Partey have been key figures in the last month or so. But I think he's done very well. He's like a proper white PMP player, pace and power. Wins his duels like what Arteta wants. He does get forward really well, which I like.
Yeah.
Gets into the right areas.
He drives as well.
He drives,
yeah.
but I think there's still a lot of his game that needs to get like refined, polished. His passing ability, because he's a centre back. Everyone knows started as a centre back, sees the whole game in front of him, so he still does the centre back tendencies, like the very safe passes.
Yeah.
We saw it today with Partey, and on last Tuesday against Chelsea, how good Partey is, and just here, take it.
Yeah.
Take it on your forward foot, and you can get forward. But Rice is more of like just take a safe pass, do whatever you want with it. After that, like get away from me. I think he's done very well.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's been a good signing for us this season. I think he gets very good PR from Arsenal fans because he's an English player, obviously. He's going to get good PR. 100 mil, they don't want him to flop, obviously. And his Arteta's like pretty much star boy, him and Havertz.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Premium signing.
I feel like he's had a good season, but just some things need to get polished.
Absolutely. And obviously a lot of these players the first season Havertz. Rice. Next season they're going to improve.
Yeah, hopefully.
I want to talk about how this affects both teams this season, but we're going to start with Tottenham first. Top 4 race. Obviously now that massively affects you. 7 points behind Aston Villa. You've got 2 games in hand. You can stretch that. You can make that margin a bit smaller.
See this Premier League table.
Make it 1 point smaller. How much confidence do you have? And your next game is actually, incidentally, Chelsea away. So
Chelsea away.
We will be there.
Chelsea away, and we've still got City as well.
Yeah. Who, sorry?
We've still got Man City.
City,
at home.
I can look at your officials.
But yeah, I think Aston Villa are comfortably in the driving seat, and I think.
Oh, you got Chelsea away, Liverpool away.
Yeah, Liverpool as
on
well.
Sunday.
Liverpool's the other
Do
one.
Aston Villa, are you mathematically out of top 4 if Villa win their next game? Or is it they have to get 4 points, I think? They have to win and draw, I think, for you lot to be out of it, right?
Yeah.
They're 7 points ahead, but you've got 2 games in hand,
We've got 2 games in hand.
And then there'll be 3 games left.
Were essentially 1 point behind.
We had a caller on the playback, and he said, and the guy said, "Listen, I'd rather take Europa League at this point. I don't think we're there for Chelsea."
And that's the thing. I'm really not mad at it. You got to remember, we were completely not even in Europe last year. So for us, anything is a progress, and especially kind of considering how we started the season, and then just kind of petered off. I think it's rightly so we're in Europa League. Villa all season have been in 4th place and comfortably in 4th place as well, while balancing that with Europe as well. So for me, the table don't lie, bro.
They've been in form since the start of last year.
At the moment, we got games in hand. And and that's right. Since Unai took over,
literally, because he went on that crazy run when they first got him, like 17 or whatever.
Yeah, so they deserve it.
So we got 2 games in hand, but games in hand don't mean points. So for me, it's theirs to lose.
Are we going to see a battle of the bridge on Thursday?
For me, Chelsea.
It's always a blockbuster.
Just dance with me, man. Don't come in tired. Oh, I can't be arsed. Come on, man. Let's do this.
Some limbo. I need to see a bit of limbo.
North London derby today. Even though we were losing, I was like, this is going to be somehow an entertaining game. And there was just some kind of or some kind of bullshit always happening. So this is another one.
Got to put on a
It
show.
was always going to be something.
I
There's
love
no English teams in Europe, remember? So we got to put on a show, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Thursday's Europa League. I want to watch you guys.
Come on, man.
We did do this.
Yeah, for sure. We're the headline.
That's more blockbuster.
Poch derby, Pochettino derby. If we lose at home to Tottenham, with Timo Werner, hey, listen,
and Poch at the helm as well.
Hey,
uncomfortable.
I'm telling you now.
It's been uncomfortable for the team, I'll be honest. It's like
it's been so uncomfortable. I'm starting to get comfortable.
I know there was. Normality. Yeah.
We'll get onto the Chelsea game very soon, but I want a title race now. Obviously, Forest lost today. City kept pace with us. They got 1 game in hand, 1 point behind us. Are you as confident as Sharky that Man City will drop some points?
Nah, I think City are just going to steamroll for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
They're in flow state. They're in whatever. They're in their groove. We know what to do. We've done this last year. We've done this the year before. Unbeaten record as usual.
Do you think having that mentality just makes it easier on us now? You're like, you know what?
Yeah, no. For me, it's
now.
not like last season where I'm like, yeah, they're chasing us. This time I'm like, oh, if they drop points, amazing. But if they don't, we've had an amazing season.
What did Cam say? They're trying to do that thing, you know, when you turn the PlayStation and you try to look away.
Oh yeah, that's what. No.
You don't care. No, you pretend you don't care.
We
beat
Forest today. We don't even care. Yeah.
Oh, you
beat Nottingham Forest. Of course you will. You're going to Tottenham Stadium, the bogey stadium. You should beat them. You should. And then when they lose, it's like, oh, it's on. Let's go. But nah, come on. I was saying it today. They've been unbeaten since Aston Villa in December. That it will be the longest unbeaten streak in Premier League history in all comps. If they finish the season without losing.
Wow.
It'll be like 35 games, I think, from then. Obviously, Real Madrid don't count because it was a draw technically.
Rodri
lost on
still
penalties.
intact.
If they go on to do that and make history, double history in the 4P and it's 4P, right? Yeah. 4P and that unbeaten record. You just have to say.
All of a sudden, United fans start waking up now. I've seen it on Twitter. They're like,
Liverpool,
I actually don't want to see a 4P. Arsenal fans, I need you.
Look at Liverpool. Liverpool done a 97-point season or 96.
93 point, 97 point.
And they still lost the league. So it'll be the same as us.
Look at this. If Arsenal win their remaining games, then 2024 would read as played 18, won 16, drawn 1, lost 1. That's not enough to win the league.
Yeah, it's mad.
Man City have absolutely.
And this is a City team that you can find quite a few players that are not at their top level. Like Grealish this season, we haven't really spoken about Grealish. Doku, again, is still like developing, learning. Haaland,
21 league goals, and everyone's
Kevin De Bruyne's been out, you know, so Foden's had to carry the mantle. This is a team with no Gundogan, no Mahrez. Everyone's thinking, you know, Kovacic, you know, nice, okay, Nunes, what have you really done? Like, people are looking at the City team like, this is not even the best. But this is what, you saw the Man City doc, right?
Yes.
We're dealing with a psychopath. The guy's tapped. Like, he is literally...
He's a maniac.
He's actually, like, there's something wrong.
I think so.
He needs to be tested.
I think we need to actually drug test about Pep Guardiola.
No, he needs to give up his brain when he...
he does.
When
Science.
Science.
Give it science, for
Let's
sure.
find out.
We need to download his...
It's going to be like
CTE. We need to find out.
That'll be a long download, you know.
Big file.
Yeah, it's going to be an extra piece of watch.
I'll promise you, there'll be like an extra frontal lobe. There's going to be extra frontal lobe for sure.
That guy's a scary man.
Yeah, he's a scary man. But let me read some stats from the game. Arsenal have scored 16 goals from corners in the Premier League this season, the most by any team in a single campaign since West Brom under Tony Pulis in 16-17.
Shout out West Brom.
Big up Bromwich.
We have Bukayo Saka scored 15 goals for Arsenal in the Premier League this season, which is his most in a single campaign. And Son Heung-min has netted 7 goals in the North London derby in the Premier League, taking him level with Robert Pires.
Wow.
What's that? Arteta's first time or first Arsenal manager to do the double over Tottenham?
Yeah. Arsenal have won consecutive top flight away games against Tottenham for the first time since September 1988.
What?
So it's a Premier League one.
What?
Yeah, it's
we never done them back.
Never done consecutive.
Bro, you got to remember the last time they did it was Rosicky 10 years before last season, and then now they've done it back-to-back seasons.
Oh, has it beat you away?
Yeah,
we hadn't beat you.
Yeah, we always. It's North London.
I'm truly flabbergasted.
It was always for the North London derby. It was always the home team one.
That was where like
home team advantage was always.
It's
like NBA. It was always home team advantage.
My false confidence
That was it,
coming
yeah.
from
The
was
record.
like, yo, we're at home.
Yeah.
We're not the team we were last season. We've got Ange under a new system. Come on. We saw what we did away from home.
That's how I felt.
Exactly.
You know when Dele Alli did it at
I'm like,
Stamford Bridge?
you feel with these, man? Yeah? You think with these, man?
jokers. 3-0 half time. 3-0.
And it was a weird 3-0. It was like the game hadn't kicked on.
Because them men were saying, like, yo, we hadn't really even got a
Yeah,
kick.
They haven't even got
like,
a
the
second
chances
gear.
we had were like just quick counter
You know,
attacks.
actually was lower than yours in the first half. I was like, what the hell's going on?
the goals.
Yeah, no, literally, yeah, it was
Crazy.
gifted, yeah.
But listen, that is the end of the North London derby. So, was that the last time you have to speak about it today? Are you like, listen, man?
You know what?
Congrats, man. I'm proud of you for getting
Your fifth time of the day speaking about Tottenham music. That is crazy.
This is
Aye, every room has the culture. Every room has the culture.
But listen, let's move on to the next game. But yeah, that's the end of the North London derby segment. Unfortunately, Tottenham did not have any bazookas, no ammunition left. So I had to get one more lick. I had to get one more lick.
You need some milk.
You know when Robbie said, bigger fish to fry? That will follow you. I'm telling you, the bazooka thing will follow you, bro.
I feel like to change my Twitter name.
Bazooka! Cam's on you that day. But listen, let's head over to the next game. I want to go over to Villa Park, actually.
Oh.
I think that's an appropriate game because that
was a fun game.
That was a fun game.
Well, not for me.
Yeah, of
That
course.
definitely wasn't for you. I mean, we were playing pro clubs. We were in a tournament for that Golf and Turf tournament. But I had on the other screen. Don't tell Sharky this yet. So I was watching that game.
Now you know why we lost. Now you know why we lost.
When this brother's dribbling back to his own
I'm
box.
gonna snitch. I'm gonna
I
snitch.
was like, oh, yeah.
Even Stars
When
had
we
it up
get
as
back
well.
home.
Even Stars had it up as well. I'm snitching.
Stars as well.
I'm
Okay.
snitching. Stars had it up as well. I walked in the room and I saw the Chelsea game. I said, I see.
Exposing
You know
some
what?
people
I
today.
remember there was a moment in the quiz where they was like, Hasim, you got that?
You didn't play?
Now I cottoned on, saying on what I Sharky, you heard it here, yeah?
Uncomfortable. But listen, Aston Villa, Chelsea, when you got into that game, Villa Park, start off straight away. Were you already like nervous going into it? You're like, oh, listen, this is going to be another loss. Were you confident in this game?
We don't do nervous. Yeah, season's finished.
Yeah, I hear it. It's just straight. We either win or lose today.
Yeah, like we really just turning up just because it's mandatory.
Yeah.
Contractual.
By law. You have to be
Legal.
there, yeah.
Like we have to watch every game. I said to my people, we're gonna cover every game, so we'll cover every game.
Yeah.
But like I came in like so loosey-goosey is the word I'd use, like. And Villa, they're favourites because they're fourth and, you know, they got depth. And you should have seen our bench, man. Going into this game, we were depleted. Like, it was mad. I was seeing...
Keep seeing that Italian guy come on.
What? Cassidy. I call him Quesadilla, bro. You know what I mean?
What the hell? What, you see this bench?
You see this bench? Bro, look at the bench, bro. Yeah. George. George. Timothy goes to school. All them, man. Yeah.
This is Regis.
Away from you.
Who are these? Do you know what? There's actually some talent there, but I ain't never seen it.
Yeah,
It's David Washington. It's David Washington on the bench.
I'm looking at your injury list, man. Your injury list
peak.
is actually crazy.
So
man.
I was willing to give him, not a pass, but I'd be like, do you know what? I'm not expecting nothing from you today.
Yeah.
Your in-game management's questionable. Second half, we always come out mad slow, like as if we've taken something at half-time. So I'm not really expecting mad things from you. And Villa are actually like chasing for something significant. They're going for something. We're just like dwindling in mid-table with, you know, Brighton and them, man. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not even bothered at this point. And then, of course, they had to outdo themselves. 3 minutes, 50 seconds. 1-0. I said,
Sideshow Bob puts his own net.
I was literally hallucinating. I was going flashbacks from the Arsenal game. I was like, did we concede literally from this same side, same time, and it's happened again? I'm like, yeah, this is ridiculous.
It's a long day for you guys.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm literally just moving on now. Like, I'm gonna start looking at SofaScore and like, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna just go. That's not a plug, by the way. I'm gonna go off, and then it's 2-0 and it's Rodgers, and I don't even know who Rodgers is, you know, until...
I really like him, though.
Rodgers is a nice player.
But it was his celebration. You know,
Where did he come from?
So I kept seeing that them two are good friends, and it was his celebration.
Oh, really?
He gave it to
that makes sense. I thought he was listening.
You know,
they're very good friends.
Really?
I kept seeing like BBC Sport talk about it, and they were like, I don't know how they're friends, but apparently they were good friends. He said, I need celebrations. So do this.
First couple goals he scored, he weren't doing it.
He wasn't, but I think
someone said to him,
Yo,
PR mark.
Hold on.
I think it was.
I think I was the first person to call him Cole Palmer. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I said that to him when it was a Cobham. Yeah, I said it. I called him Cole Palmer in like some sort of promo propaganda spiel. And then I don't know if I started it, but I was the first person to say it, like on a platty. So I was like, I'm claiming this. Unless somebody's got a tweet earlier that they can come and show me evidence. And then I said to him when I went to Cobham, I was like, that's your name from me. So then these celebrations have come from it. Madueke kind of, I think, said it in an interview. But yeah, without him, we're nothing. Do you know what I mean? And he didn't have his best game. There was a lot of injuries. I was looking at it, but Enzo came out. Do you know what it is? We were just a long shot FC in that first half. We didn't really have a plan. Like every single strike. I mean, Jackson had a nice moment
post,
as well.
right?
Yeah, he had the post with a free header. He had that shot that was offside, a nice little finish for once. But most of the shots were long shots from Mudryk. I think he nearly hit someone in the crowd, some innocent civilian. Gallagher, long shot, some bystander, some steward. Do you know what I mean? Gallagher. Everybody's just licking off shots, and our team's really immature. Like it's honestly, it's a kindergarten. There's no leaders. There's no experience. There's no like consequences to actions. That's why you see the penalty scuffle and whatnot. And Poch is kind of allowing it to fly. It's only recently he's come in with discipline. He's like, actually, do you know what? There are rules. I am going to be an authoritarian. This is a club. This has standards. Before it was just anything can fly. Let them figure it out for themselves. So the first half was null and void, man. We really didn't do anything. But fair play to him in the second half. He did make a tactical tweak. He inverted Cucurella like Zinchenko.
Big
I was
difference.
like, ooh, tactics. Tactico.
In-game.
In-game. Hey, let me go on Twitter. We love this. You know what I mean? We make a thread about this. He inverted Cucurella, made it into a 3, which made more sense. Badiashile, Chalobah, Silva in the middle, protect him because he was getting cooked. Like in the wide areas, we were
and
getting
Thiago
done.
Silva needs that help.
He
as
does.
well.
And they brought on Bailey, not Bailey, Diaby.
Yes.
I thought, oh Lord, more pace against our Silva who needs protecting. So I was so happy to see that change. And then we did actually start to get on the front foot. We started to play well. And we was just about to do the unthinkable, make it a 3-2 comeback. And this...
Once again, the referees, man.
Listen.
I'll be honest, I don't like Chelsea. But what I hate more than Chelsea is Premier League referees. And they actually
For me,
took
it
away
was
that goal.
a foul.
Yeah.
But what I hated the most is the ref's seen it.
He's seen it.
He's watched it. He said it's a goal. And then he's gone and looked at the slow-mo of a little this. And he says, I did like that.
You think it's a foul?
I think it's a foul because Diego Carlos, he's about to jump. Sorry. Was it Badiashile?
Badiashile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Diego Carlos about to try and get it. And he's just...
I
think it was a forearm. He's gone for a little league. So for me, it's debatable.
It's soft.
I think it's
very soft.
because he's completely put him off his game. Do you know what I mean?
It's typical physical contact of two players competing.
Yes.
And especially when I look at Diego Carlos, he didn't even react.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I looked at. He didn't really care.
Diego Carlos knows he loves a battle.
Yeah.
I just lost
He's
out.
a real dog.
I'm like, So he just lost out in that one. But I'm like, you as a referee, even on video, I would have seen that personally, and I would have been like, "Oh yeah, he don't."
But what I
think
hate is they
that's a penalty.
slow mo it. That's what annoys me the most.
It makes
Slow-mo
it
makes
look worse.
Takes it out of
worse.
context.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was
The
a
guy
foul.
is watching it. He can see it, and he's saying it's not a penalty, and he's giving the goal.
The fact that Carlos didn't even fight for it, he said, you know what, we play on, we move.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, we've done so much good work to get back into the game. Like, great finish from Madueke, great finish from Gallagher. What a strike. Unbelievable. And then, I'm thinking to myself, it's almost like Coventry the week before. Fairy tale story. Little old Chelsea make their way back at Villa Park.
Little old Chelsea.
It's a football script. The script writers, the script down and out at mid-table.
Look what they've become.
Nearly went into administration. Nearly went into liquidation. Chelsea rise from their ruins.
Move like a grassroots club.
Peter Jury's on the mic.
The $1 million bottle job. I'm trying to talk like this.
Another Emery bottle job. Dance with me. Another Emery bottle job for Arsenal fans to talk.
You've got me on your side. You've got me on your side. You've got me on your side.
It's the history of the Emery. It's the history of the Emery.
And he just ruined it. So I got it wrong. I initially was like, it was shoulder. It wasn't shoulder. He did like go to the back.
Was his forearm or something?
But
He's done something.
But that was
He shoved him, but I was just like,
in open play that happens like 1,000 times. You move on, and it's like because this season VAR has been so inconsistent. Grealish can handball it on a free kick, can't even get a corner. Like Suchek, a couple seasons dive. Nothing. Cucurella could get his hair pulled. Your dreads.
Do you remember when Odegaard dancing in the box?
And Liverpool.
Liverpool as well,
Even the goal against you guys.
Newcastle. Remember Newcastle with the push in the back at St James's? Same situation. So it's like if there's no consistency. So
even the Declan Rice one in North London Derby, Michael Oliver looked at it. I agree it's a penalty, but it's 100% penalty.
Like it's in his eye line. It's right 1 yard away. He almost got kicked. That's how close he was. And it's like he's still saying play on. So it's like you should just go with the referee in that situation.
Remember straight away we were like,
that is a penalty.
Because I remember,
he's gonna look that back. It's gonna be a penalty.
Yeah, because that happens a lot. You always see them given. The guy kicks, he doesn't know the guy's coming penalty.
But the fact it's right in front of him.
But like
it's similar to this.
But like you're right with the refereeing this season, it's been horrible.
But Palmer had a great chance. He could have just won it for us on the 1v1. He just missed it.
That's just unlucky.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Like he should have scored, but it's just unlucky.
He's balled out too much for us this season.
But I did read it was Morgan Rogers' celebration. They played at Man City together. He used to be a Man City winger.
Really?
Morgan Rogers,
I didn't know that.
Wondering, where's this Morgan Rogers kid?
He went to,
Yeah.
I think he went to Middlesbrough. I think it was Middlesbrough. Then they signed him. I don't know
January.
if
Yeah, they signed him in January.
But he was a Man City youth academy player. Same with Cole Palmer, Foden, and all that. Then he used to do the celebration.
Right.
And then I read the article now. They're very, very good friends. So he took the celebration from him.
City have been producing so many youngsters. Like you're just.
They're like how you guys are.
Yeah.
They're like how Man United are. Like
Jeremy Frimpong from there.
Is it?
Yeah, Frimpong's from there. Pedro Porro's from there.
Douglas Luiz was there before.
Yeah, Douglas Luiz was there. He was on loan to like Granada or something like that. Lavia.
But they also they'll buy them really cheap and then
that's
send them out to the City group.
They do what Arsenal basically used to do, cliche and second them, man. Sign them at like 15 and then claim them as their own by 18.
Pedro at Barca. Pedro at Barca.
Pedro, they bought him from Las Palmas or something like that. I was like, whoa, La Masia. But I got
he keeps being misspelled. But obviously, Aston Villa. Chelsea avoided defeat, by the way, for just the 4th time in 51 Premier League games in which they were 2 or more goals behind at half-time. It's a good stat for it.
Incredible. I'm shocked to this day that we actually got something from that game.
There's so many things.
Got something more.
There's so many things that shock me about Chelsea. Like now, every time they just ring off a stat. Like how many games Enzo won in his Chelsea career? It's like 14
Let
games.
that man go get surgery, man. Can't cook an injured man.
Yeah, man. That guy's had his coochie split open and he's now out for the rest of the season.
Hey, respect Enzo. I know what Sugar Sean be doing here, but we don't respect Enzo when I'm here. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna bring that balance. Enzo's a baller.
You're a big fan of Enzo.
I love Enzo. I wanted him badly, so I'm gonna live or die by this.
Fair enough.
He's been playing with a hernia for the last 6
kind
months.
of Undombele. That's your thing.
There you go.
You rated a minute.
No,
I call it Undombele.
You did love Undombele though. You did love him. You did love him.
This is day.
You loved him.
we can save him. We can save him, I'm telling you.
See how drooling. You start drooling. Yeah, you start drooling.
See how crazy it gets.
Yeah, I hear it. Endobelly, yeah. He was just mad thick. He was just mad thick lower half. Whoa. He was crazy.
Get him on my fitness regime. I promise you.
I know you.
Him, you and Sharky go for runs in the morning.
Give me 6 weeks with Endom.
Oh, not that run club, man.
SCS Run Club. Come to
But listen,
that'd be sick.
You mentioned Sean as well. He's been on the pod. Obviously, you know his stance with Chelsea and Pochettino. Where are you with Poch as well?
I wanted Poch.
Yeah.
So, and the way I roll is that I'm actually embarrassed because if I rate you highly and I wanted you, if you now perform below that standard, I'm not gonna like be strong and wrong and defend you. I'm like, you're actually underperforming to my expectations. Like, I actually thought you were better than this. It's not like you didn't want Poch, you didn't rate him. You're not really surprised. So you're like, oh, this is exactly what I actually thought he could get us into Europe. Now, there's been context, there's injuries. It's a difficult squad to manage. There's no balance. You've got to kind of develop everybody at the same time. You've stockpiled youngsters. However, it's inexcusable to draw to Sheffield United. It's inexcusable to draw to Burnley. So if you just get those results alone, forget the whole rest of the season, you could have actually been in 6th, which is all we're asking for. We're not asking for League, Champions League, just Europa League. Just be in the conversation. So for me, we're so close to doing a cup double, but we're so far at the same time. So it's really. It could have been such a defining season, not only for him, because I know how much he really wants to get that monkey off his back about trophies and all that stuff, being a bottler, but also for us with winning with a young group and instilling that winning mentality and saying, right, you're at Chelsea now, rise to the level. And the fan base have kind of been like battering each other about, should we like get in touch with reality and get to understand the standards they're at, or should we try and bring them up to the standard that we need to be at to say, no, you need to deliver to this level, otherwise we're going to just accept what we're at and become numb to it. So there's a massive like back and forth going on, and it's tough. But yeah, for me, Poch is, if he didn't misprofile so many players, bro, I would have been a lot calmer. Like if you're at least letting the players play to their strengths and not exposing their weeknesses, which is what a coach has to do.
Who do you think? Who do you
Cole
say?
at left back getting skinned all season when Matson's right there, who's now in a Champions League semi-final with Dortmund. Chilwell at left wing earlier on the season. Disasi at right back, who turns like
a truck.
Turns like a truck.
Truck doing a
do you know what I mean? You know that meme where the truck's trying to on the same. Like, what are we doing here? This is GTA through the tunnel. Like we can't turn back. Like it's done. So and there's so many more instances. I saw Enzo even making second striker runs in a 10. Like it's just not making sense. And I think as much as I sympathise with him, because he's also not able to make that connection, and you see how Ten Hag starts to waffle, he's also doing that as well, and he's talking out of both sides of his mouth, and he can't stay consistent. It's a lot to deal with. But I do realise at the same time the problem is bigger than him. Directors' hierarchy, they're the consistent theme over the last 2 seasons. And just because we sack him doesn't mean it's all good. Like we could just go into next season, Poch and the next one. So it's very complex, bro. It's its own pod. But long story short, I don't mind. Like, you can leave. Like I've already said you can go. I'd get rid of him at the end of the season because I don't feel like he has been like this team has been allowed to run amok in terms of the penalty situation. And there's so many things that he's not ticking the boxes, and I'm just like, I don't think I can't handle another season because the next season is crucial. If we mess up next season, I mean, our defensive record is the worst since the early 90s. The amount of goals we've conceded, that alone is sackable. And if it carries on for next season and we say, right, let's just try one more time, it might work. But if it doesn't, Cole Palmer, bid coming in. Reece James, if you're fit, bid coming in. And that's where Chelsea really start to get into a position where you may never come back. You may never come back. And I can't take that risk.
Because that Cole Palmer one, I feel like that, like you said, I feel like there's another season half where he just goes, what am I doing?
What am I doing here?
Take me back to Manchester. Whether it's City or United, take me back to Manchester.
I'm getting 20 Premier League goals and I'm still finishing.
I could see like a United just.
This might be our last season to like ride off our name, and that's with the with the finances.
And I feel like if you lot keep Poch for one more season,
if we finish 10th next year. And we don't pay the high wages, and we're not in champs. And like, I'm not saying like we're done, but it's very difficult.
It's difficult to come out.
No, but I still think Chelsea will always pay high wages.
No, we don't pay high wages. Like, it's factual. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. We have a wage cap. Yeah, there's like we don't pay. The only people that are on big wages are from you know when Top Boy was going for dinner. No, the 8-year contracts are long, but they're 100k. So like. Of course, that comes in a boat. Like you get security and lifetime security.
It's only like the Reece James
big names.
Stuff,
Osman, bruv, I can make 3 times what you man are about offering me. So the wage cap's there. So we don't pay the most. We're not in Europe. We're not winning. It's a lot for a player to like kind of risk their career on. So,
and I feel like you don't want to risk.
This squad doesn't suit him. I love Tuchel, man.
I can see why people like it.
Bro, if Tuchel come back, I would entertain it. We'd have to change.
If he was to come back, they have to kiss the ring. You know, the owners they have to say, "Please, we're so sorry."
And we have to change the strategy.
It's like kiss the ring, and I'm coming back.
But we can't keep buying like 17-year-olds from Brazil and Argentina. Like we have to give him pros.
If you keep Poch one more year, it gives him the license to buy who he wants. And then now, let's say he buys who he wants, and it works out. Do you say success, or would you rather a new manager comes in, puts his own philosophy into the club and things like that, and then all these youth players go out on loan, and you get the players back who are injured, like all the Gustos, Reece James, and Kunku. No one's seen him play football yet. He's like Malacia. He's like Malacia.
Reece James, Fofana,
Lavia,
and Kunku.
He's one of my favourite players.
Chukwuemeka. Like we actually, there's talent there, but we ain't seen it. And that's why the board and the hierarchy and the medical team also have to be held accountable. It's not just Poch, because like. The amount of injuries we've had this season, I know Newcastle have had Brighton, Man United, but it's been a disgrace. Like on average, like 10 every game. So every press conference, minimum 2 injuries. I can guarantee you. I don't know who, but
and it's like big players as
big
well.
names, And it's like, but the board, their mentality and what they want for this club, it's not like Roman where we knew he wanted to win. He would go into debt for it. Whereas these guys, it's like, do you want to make profit or like not profit, but do you guys want to like develop youngsters like Dortmund and
American
Brighton
owners. American owners, they're like that.
There's a lot more people involved, investors and
strategy.
American ownership. What are we gonna MLS? Like, I don't even know what other words they use.
We need lists.
Where's Leah's, man? So because I can't trust them because I don't know their plan and I don't know what what are your intentions with my football club. You know when like you have a daughter, or you know if you have
what are your intentions with my daughter?
What are your intentions with my daughter? I don't know because like you're not being clear and you're buying all these young players and it's stockpiling. So. And we're not winning, and we're not focusing on the first team, so it's very muddy, and it's not.
For you, this summer transfer is massively important. To get some experience.
They have to change the strategy. I don't want to see no more Washingtons, no more Cassidys, Quesadillas. I don't want to see no more youngsters. Bring in certified, experienced Premier League players who they might not be world class because we can't get it, but get guys who know the 38 game struggle and they can perform to a consistent level.
Richarlison, 30 million for you, my friend.
What's it? Zinchenko,
Ramsdale. I give you good offer.
No.
I give you good.
No. Ben Davies, 10 million.
Take or leave.
For you only.
You don't want 10 million, 5 million I give to you.
Do you know who's a good player? Tosin at Fulham.
Yeah,
I really do like him.
He's going on free. He's
leaving on free. I also like Anderson at Palace. I think he's a very good player as well. So there's some smart signings. No. Well,
Thiago's going.
Chalobah will probably be sold for pure profit.
Thiago's wife.
Sassy's looking mad.
Thiago's wife's been crying to leave.
No, I don't agree.
Might be the best of the bunch.
I don't agree with it, but they will do it.
Yeah,
they'll do it.
Because you need a pure profit.
Yeah,
they're in a lot of, like, I don't know what their financial situation, but it looks like they're going to be in a lot.
They sold hotels.
Yeah, but did you see how much they're selling it for? Like, they're selling it to each other. One parent company sold it to the other parent company for a crazy amount of money. Yeah, just for financial fair play.
It's like The Apprentice.
Yeah, literally. Trump. Like, they will sell all the English talent. They'll get rid of all that.
Pure profit. Gallagher, they've been trying to move Gallagher for 3 straight transfer windows whilst the manager plays him and captains him.
Yeah.
That's how mad
They should have sold him that Palace season, man.
But the thing is, they're not even aligned. Poch will say
they hadn't even took over there.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
But then also their price tag is like crazy for it. They want like 50,
Matson 35, he's gone already.
Lewis Hall, You got
Bet you
Brozier as well.
Brozier will go, yeah.
They got a lot of pure profit coming in.
Dacha Fofana.
He's not pure profit.
He's not pure profit. He was signed. He's at Burnley, yeah. He's another one of them.
Burnley will take
Yeah.
Before we move on to the next segment, I wanted to quickly ask you as well. We had a person on the table that says Nico Jackson is a top 7 Premier League striker at the moment. Would you agree with that?
Top 7?
Yeah.
Well, I have conditions, but I don't think so.
No.
Watkins.
Yeah.
Haaland, of course. Isak.
Yeah.
Who else have we got? Tony. Yeah.
Solanke.
Yeah. He's not better than Solanke. Can't be.
No.
Son, if you want to put him there.
Son, you have to put in there. Yeah.
Bowen.
Bowen. Well, Bowen's not really a striker.
Bowen's not a striker.
Why not?
He's got the highest amount of West Ham goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so is Palmer though. But he's not. He's a winger, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
really a winger.
But this season, Bowen was been playing as a 9.
If you're counting Son,
I wouldn't say top 7, but I do have respect.
Darwin Núñez.
See, this is where it gets nasty. For me, Núñez.
That's where it gets nasty.
Jackson, people have you believe that Jackson should say a fraud for 35 million.
I can't lie. He's a box crasher.
I
watched him twice in a
can't
few
finish.
days.
Define that word for me.
I watched him twice.
What do you mean by that?
Watched him twice in
by
4
that?
days. I watched him against City and Arsenal. Yeah. The way he runs centre backs ragged is
that's what I'm saying.
like he's so good at
The
it.
hold
but
up
then
play,
it's hold up,
carrying.
decision making and turning
yeah,
channels. But then when he gets into the box, it's like what
Finish.
do I do now?
That's a good term to use.
What box crusher?
Yeah.
The way he dropped the shoulder on Gabriel.
I call him
amazing.
Baby Jesus. With that, is that fair?
Yeah, he's a big BCM guy. He's a BCM guy.
Yeah.
Like he was running Saliba ragged. He was running Stones and Diaz ragged.
Yeah. Konate in the cup final.
Like he's a proper box crusher, but it's like I don't know what position.
Don't know what to
he plays
finish.
now.
He needs to go wing.
And it's hilarious because I remember, was it last summer or the summer before? Bournemouth almost got him for 30 million.
Yeah.
He had the release clause, and then suddenly he goes to Chelsea, and the difference in level with them two. It's like, how are we going for the same player?
Yeah. And the last question as well, to finish off the Aston Villa segment, because I would say they basically confirmed top 4. I was expecting you guys. I'm not gonna.
They kind of bottled it though.
They're both bottling it.
Villa.
No, we bottled it the week we lost to Fulham.
Yes.
Because they fumbled it, I think, the week before, and we couldn't take advantage of it, and then we didn't take it. And then 2 weeks later, around Newcastle, we just said, oh, yeah. Champions League.
Exactly. Villa had us on the ropes, and they had Man United. They didn't even play well at Old Trafford this season, but they were 2-0 up. And then Emery and his team just go into this weird passive second half.
Hey man,
and then
you must be new here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
This is normal, yeah. You must be new here,
bro. At Villa Park, we bought them. It's jars, man.
I hate that guy. Just that one Champions League year where he went for the Europa League.
Don't remind me. I was gonna say something about Emery. Oh yeah. Do you think Emery should be, if he gets top 4, or
manager of the year? I think that's a fair shout, especially if he wins Conference League as well.
Yeah, I think it's between him and Sean Dyche now. 8-point deduction. Was it 8 points? Yes, 8 points. And then
not much quality in that team as well.
Zero quality. Did you even see Decore? Decore posted a story. It just said 10% talent, 90% mentality. He's calling himself ass. Yeah, he's calling himself ass. He said I'm a scrum baller. Yeah, he said I'm a scrum baller. But I try. Yeah, like
10% luck, 20% skill.
That was on all the comps, Ronaldinho comps back in the day. Yeah, on all the Ronaldinho comps, I remember.
Let's move on to the next game. West Ham drew 2-2 with Liverpool. Liverpool's title hopes are all but done. Fawzi was still trying to tell me, did you get it? We can still have a chance. I don't think they have a chance anymore. It's between Arsenal and City. He still had hope, man. You still have to have hope. But what do you say? Hope is what kills you.
It murders you.
Murders him.
In cold blood as well.
Murders him. Bowen winning a header in the box. He must have been thinking, what the hell has this team become, man? Yeah. Salah, Núñez, everyone's been
Salah
benched.
with the beef just for not hugging Klopp.
Crazy.
What's going on?
It's crazy. Salah.
What is going on?
I'm waiting for the documentary.
That's a sad end.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to milk it too much because that can happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a little spat.
Yeah, I think it's not that.
But the quote coming out saying, I could talk fire right now.
Yeah, if I speak, it'll be fire or something. Yeah, that sounds. Sorry? That sounds like it's been brewing.
Yeah.
On the stove. He's going to release his own dish right now. He's going to do that one. But listen, they drew 2-2. Obviously, Robertson got the equaliser, and then Areola scored an goal with Gakpo put it back in there. Deflected off everyone. Antonio then equalised. Liverpool this season, obviously, fans. I mean, it was a big topic on STS in the midweek. Liza said Liverpool are bottled it. Do you think Liverpool are bottled the league this season?
Yeah. There's no other way.
Yeah. How many points were they clear at one point?
At one point, were they 10 points clear?
5 or 8 or something like that.
But see, had a game in hand. It's like something like that.
It was 5 or 8 something.
But they had the easiest run of fixtures.
Yeah, easiest run and
Four away games in a row is tough, though.
What helps them is
that's a good point.
no one expected them to be in that position. That's what helps them a lot.
I agree, but I feel like once you got to that position, and I feel like after denying us all season, everybody questioning, is it sustainable? Is it sustainable?
Yeah.
We got to the point of, okay, guys,
Not sustainable.
this is sustainable. No, it is.
Oh, you mean like on that part?
Yeah, they got to the point where it's like, you know what, this is who they are. They're doing it for Klopp. It's the last dance, and you even had that almost like added emotional value.
The storyline.
And you felt like it added a spark plug initially, but then I just feel like almost like that wore off. And not to say it wore off, and then everybody just like, okay. End of the season now, but it's like
Is that
the
Zinchenko
attack.
again?
The attack, I feel like is amazing.
There was sounds Zinchenko left for some reason. What's going on?
If you're lucky, you won today.
Do you follow me here? Do you follow me there? I go in there.
Can I go here, please,
As a winger, what are you doing? Am I going here?
Bro, they all sound like Zinchenko. I don't know what it is. But yeah.
But no, I feel like the attack has bottled it more than anything, in my opinion. Especially when I look at the kind of form Darwin Núñez was on 2 or 3 months ago. Luis Diaz, you could say he's been a bright spark in terms of being a threat for them, but I think his output has been very inconsistent. Jota injuries, of course, has kind of stopped him, but Mo Salah. I know. FaZe will be here. I can't believe they're disgracing my Arab kid. Brother, he has not been here when Liverpool have needed them.
Why'd you do him like that, man? Come on, Faisal, man.
Faisal, man. That's what the FF stands for.
I love Madrid.
We here is Faisal.
Take Trent. I love Madrid. Take Trent. Come collect your boy. He deserves better, man.
Trent got the restraining order.
I just feel like Liverpool almost relying on Darwin has kind of caught up to them at this point of the season.
Yeah, he should be on terrorist top 10.
Bro.
List, you know that.
Your TikTok jinx.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Nah, I'm glad you brought that up because he couldn't wait every time. He's connecting the dots. I'm telling you guys.
He had a little TikTok,
He had his one TikTok clip of where he was
It was
saying,
like 2 years
Darwin Núñez does the shot across the face of goal, yeah. Once it starts hitting the target,
Brother.
and you know he
Brother, what's that?
he hit one of those 2 finishes and he was like,
Against Newcastle, innit? He's like, okay, I'm investing more now. I've got invested. Do you know what it is, though? I don't even want to just do Núñez. It's a group. It's Núñez, it's Gakpo, it's Szoboszlai, and there's one other brother as well. But the new signings, they haven't been pulling their weight.
Diaz.
Diaz, I give
70 million.
because of the injuries and
you're
off
meant
the
to be
field,
Mane's replacement.
ACL.
Has he even been 2/3 of what Mane has been?
No. I think he come on for ACL.
And I know that's
I think he's coming off
harsh,
for ACL.
Mane set a barometer,
He did.
bro. And I feel like you can't almost let your standards
Bro,
drop.
what the fuck,
And
man?
he came in at a time when Mane
What
was
the
still
fuck,
there.
man?
If I'm not mistaken. So it was almost like you had the literal handing of the baton. And the first 6 months, it was like,
He's on it.
Mane, your time is up, bro. It's time to go.
Go to Saudi, brother.
As soon as Mane left,
This game, innit?
okay, Colombia.
But the ACL, I'll give
Arriba.
I'm easy on him because of the ACL, but I agree, like he hasn't even hit the levels either. But the rest of them, so Szoboszlai, Núñez, Gakpo, the 5th attacker that can just do whatever he wants until now when you need him.
But Gakpo I also feel bad for because they put him at striker, left wing, left centre mid.
But that's because you're not. That's because he's not that great, though. That's because he's not that great.
Who are you?
That's because he's not that great.
Who are you, brother?
Cody Gakpo.
Which position do you play?
I think left wing is his best position.
Yeah, I think. You said I think.
Yeah,
I
guy
think
is
so,
6'4".
I don't think even
He's
he knows.
6'4" and he does not impose his body at all on the
It's
pitch.
not good.
He's no physicality on the pitch. Tall for no reason.
Generally.
Yeah.
Give me some of those inches, bro. I need them.
Pause.
We don't pause on that. No, did he?
But there's also the academy guys is the one that we were saying it earlier. The academy guys are the ones pulling through. The Elliots, the Joneses, the Bradleys this season, the Kwanzas, Kelleher. So that's damning on the recruitment. Edwards is he's gonna be spinning when he gets in there. It's gonna be mad.
Oh yeah, I actually want to talk about a little incident in that game. Did you see the Gakpo and Areola kind of mix up where Areola went down with the ball? He was feigning an injury. Might have been injured. I don't know. He got up, then he put the ball down because he thought the referee had called for a free kick. Gakpo ran straight up to it, was gonna kick it in. The referee's like, no. He's like, stop.
Yeah.
Should have shot.
And then the referee
VAR can
bottled it.
referee went up to Areola and said, I beg you go down because I think I just messed this one up.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
It was strange.
Gakpo should have just scored and made a bigger heading than it should have been.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. It was so weird to see. It was one of the like.
When did it happen? Porto? Was it Porto Arsenal?
Oh yeah.
4 to Arsenal, was it? Champions League.
Champions League.
Played the pass, but it was really
Exactly.
trying to retake
No,
the
no,
goal.
no. I'm thinking of Arsenal. Arsenal, Man United.
The Nani. No,
Was it Nani?
Spurs United.
Spurs United. When keeper just throws it down.
Nani and Gomez.
Aurelio Gomez. Thinks it's a foul. And then Nani just looks up. He looks around. Then he just taps it in.
was like that.
Yeah, he just taps it in, but then Gakpo didn't shoot.
Yeah. That was a big controversy.
That's the one I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
it looked a bit dodgy over that. But obviously.